Morning, Raptor Freak Alexiot's here. Friday morning after a great win, 8 in a row for the Raptors last night, beating the Houston Rockets, a lowly team in the Western Conference. It was really important that we showed up with the right kind of energy and attitude and didn't slouch against a team that may have been easy to slouch against, but we didn't. And boy, yesterday, what a great day for Raptors Nation. We get an 8-game win streak. Gary Trent Jr. with 42 points, his second highest total ever in his career. He had his highest last year with us in the shortened period of time that he was with us after the trade deadline last season, 44 points. So he's got 42 now. And I'm telling y'all, a 50 piece is coming at some point because that man, he shot so many shots with Fred out of the lineup last night that he showed that he can be that high volume guy and that he's going to get 50 points at some point in the next year. I believe this. He could even be before the end of the season with the way he's playing right now. Good morning, Darren, my good friend Darren, all the way in Jakarta, Indonesia. Welcome. I'm always happy to see you. I'm not going to say good morning. I'm going to say good evening, sir. Good night. I know it's 9:14 p.m. over there right now for you, man. All right, let's see what you're saying, Darren. Let's go, Freak Nation. Just getting over the COVID. Finally feeling a bit better. Oh, my gosh. There's a couple of Raptor Freak cult people have had the COVID in the recent months, and I'm glad to hear you're recovering, Darren, and you're getting through it. Hopefully, you're home free from now on. So yesterday, what a crazy, incredible day of saying just 8-game win streak. And then finally, yes, the tragic chapter has been closed. We finally moved Goran, the stupid ass thorn in our side, hanging around down in Miami, being disrespectful to the Toronto Raptors franchise. And he's out the door. You know what? It's so fitting in some ways that we cut this professional mentor. He came into our team and told us he was going to be a professional. Well, fuck you. You were not professional. You took off on us after a long road trip, and then you showed just how professional you were by hanging out down in the Miami Heat training facility, hanging out with all the Miami Heat and stuff. That's not professional, Goran. So you can't say you're a professional. You're an asshole and you're a quitter. And you know what? We got a real professional coming to our team now. Yeah, a real mentor, a real player, a real person that's going to do something good for our team. And his name is Thaddeus Young. I don't know if people are familiar with Thaddeus. Thaddeus has been in the league since 2007. He's in the top 15 of most games played in active players right now, y'all. This is a true vet. He's actually a young vet because he's only 33. And the other thing about him is he's had a solid 10 years in this league, averaging double points. We may remember him mostly from his days in Philadelphia and Chicago. He's done a lot of good things for other teams. And this is the other thing on the down low about Thaddeus that we do not know, that most people do not know, is that he's been an early mentor to OG Anunoby. That's right. OG was on an AAU team coached by him, or he had something to do with it. And he has a strong influence and connection to OG for many, many years now. So this is great because Thaddeus has a prior relationship with OG. He's going to come in and he's going to be a new leader off the bench. It may seem like we're just adding more of what we already got. But listen, that's our strategy. We want to be this long-ass team, and we want the guys that can shoot, that can dribble the ball, that can pass the ball, and Thaddeus is another one of these guys. So I'm really excited about it. He brings some good experience, good mentorship. He'll be another good big guy off the bench alongside Birch and Boucher and Achua and Banton, and it's just going to give us more depth. So I'm really excited about Thaddeus. He's already switched his Twitter handle to saying "We the North" on there. He's putting all his hashtags up and his allegiances for us before he's even landed at Pearson today. Yeah, he's coming in today. He's going to hook up with the team today, start practicing with them. And then tomorrow he'll be available against the Nuggets, y'all. So I'm very excited about the Thaddeus coming in. And the other thing about the deal is, listen, we got Drew Eubanks, okay, and we waived him. Almost immediately we waived him. And the thing about the money is Dragic was $19 million for this year. Thaddeus is only $14 million, and then the stuff with Eubanks and the draft picks and all that stuff was to make it even. Well, this is the thing. We cut Eubanks, and because Thaddeus's salary was much lower than Dragic's, we now have some money to spend on the buyout market. And what I'm saying is right here, y'all may get what you finally want. what you wish for. There's a couple of different options I'm hearing right now, but the one I really think is going to happen is we're going to spend some money and bring DJ Wilson in and put him into that roster spot because we can do it now. We can afford to do it and stay under the cap and not have to pay the luxury tax. We can bring in a new player from the buyout market. It may not be DJ, but Bobby's hinting that it's going to be somebody. By March 1st, we'll have somebody new. And he's not totally sure if he'll get them sooner or later. He wants to really see how the buyout market develops over this next little period of time is see if there's anybody really good that he may want. But the things I'm hearing are stuff like he could get DJ Wilson signed in for the rest of the season this way. He could convert Justin Champagnie from a two-way player to a full roster player so that he's eligible for things later at the end of the year with the playoffs. I've also heard that he may bring in somebody totally different, someone like Ennis Freedom, Cantor, like something like that. I don't like that idea because honestly, Cantor doesn't really fit with what we're doing. And some people are saying that he's a conspiracy theorist because of his politics these days and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't really like that move, but that is one of the rumblings I've heard also. So basically we can expect because of this deal, not Eubanks, because we've waived him, but some other secondary player in this deal will come about because of this. And it may be that the room and the space has been open for DJ Wilson to actually make his official return to the team and be on the team. It's going to be great to see what happens. Anyway, let me see what Darren's saying here next. Let's see. Whole family hit. Oh, man. Sorry to hear that about the COVID problem there. We're all better. No more Goran. Yeah, it's just a fabulous day. No Goran, no COVID, 8-game win streak. It's great to be a Raptor freak, baby. Oh, yeah. Life is good in Toronto right now. Yeah. Darren thinks that Thaddeus is a good pickup. Yeah, I think so, too. He's a solid pro. He kind of gives us something that we lack, which is a pro, a veteran, a guy who's been in the playoffs a lot of years, has been a pro around for a long time. He'll be a good mentor. He'll give good habits to the guys, and he's useful also off the bench. He can play our positionless scheme. He can do the things that we need him to do. It's just as quick as he can figure out the system and fit in with it. But I'm really excited about this. It gives us more depth. Some people are saying, well, we really just doubled down and got just more of what we already got. Well, that's what we like. We want this prototypical 7-foot wingspan, 6'8" kind of player on our team. And the other thing about Thaddeus is that he can help play on center also. He's an undersized guy, but he's another guy that can actually do good work defensively against centers. So, yeah, it's just a good pick all around in different ways. I love the connection with OG. I think that that's something really, really special and nice in itself. Darren's saying DJ Wilson and Moses Brown could be picked up possibly. Yes, those are two names. I don't know what's going on with Moses Brown exactly with Dallas and stuff, but there's going to be a shuffle. There's already been a huge shuffle. I mean, what a crazy trade deadline day. We can talk about any of the moves that went on yesterday. If you guys want to put them in the chat bracket, I don't remember them all. But we obviously I remember the big one. But if you guys want to talk about trade deadline also today, along with the reaction to the game last night, I'm perfectly okay with it because once again, we're not speculating anymore. The deadline has passed. We've seen what's actually happened, and this is what's on the ground now going forward in the NBA. And it's some interesting changes to our Atlantic Division foes going forward because of yesterday. It's going to be very interesting, and I'll even talk about each one of them. Maybe I'll do that as one of the days when we're off for the All-Star break. I'll take a look and reassess the chances of all the teams in the Eastern Conference for how they're going to do in the playoff run for the rest of the season. Oh, yeah, I love it. Darren's saying still short shooters, but Thaddeus is a hard guy to push in the paint. Yeah, I agree. It would be nice to have more shooters, but geez, if we have Gary Trent and Fred and Pascal shooting that way they are, even OG, the way he's shooting right now, and Scotty, it's kind of like our main guys are really good shooters already. And it was really nice to see Malachi get extra burn last night. He got a lot of run last night. He looked very capable. He was making great plays on defense. If you notice that Malachi was playing super scrappy last night, his hands were all in there just like Gary and Fred would do, and he was just super aggressive. And I really love that he hit some really crazy three-point shots. That one shot where the shot clock was going down and he had to shoot it from flying over and stuff, and he hit it. That was really impressive. And I'm really glad that Malachi actually finally got a good game in and looked good, because like I have more confidence in him right now. Going forward, it's really good. Like even Yuta, he got to play a bit last night. He had that huge block, and he didn't make his one shot there that looked pretty bad, but he did make a shot eventually. And it is what it is. These guys are getting integrated more, and maybe we can trust them a little bit more to be out on the court and do well. Unfortunately, Svi didn't really do anything, but everybody else looked really good last night. So yeah, let's keep going here. Monique's here. Good morning, Monique. Always good to see you in the morning. Let's go, Thaddeus. I looked, Monique, and on his Twitter already, Savannah Hamilton's posted. He's posted hashtag We the North. So he's already on board, and he's all about coming here. I think that he didn't enjoy just sitting on the bench at San Antonio. Most of the Spurs fans don't even know who he is. He played so little this season. And I guess it's the kind of thing where Popovich really loves to develop young players, and he really isn't a rebuild. So he's playing the hell out of his young bigs like Jakob and McDermott, different people like that. And Thaddeus is just the odd man out. He has been unnecessary on their team because he's an older player. Is not really wanting to invest time with him. He's just been kind of a backup, and he hasn't gotten to see the court very much. Well, that's going to change here in Toronto. We'll see how much he gets to play. I'm going to guess that he's behind our regular guys that are already here, but he's just an extra, even more big guy, another big guy that can come in after Precious, Kem, Chris, and Delano. Like I see him right in between them and the rest of the bench as far as where he would be in the rotation in the pecking order. So let's see what else y'all are saying. Darren saying, hoping we can claw our way up to fourth. The final standings are key to us making East Finals. I think this is very possible. Listen, I'm thinking about this, and like thinking about tomorrow's game against Denver was so heady and like, whoa, this is stressful. This could be a really tough game. But I love how we're taking each game day by day, and we're taking one at a time. And I really feel like because we have today off, they're going to be coming home. We have this new trade, this new blood coming in. We've gotten the scourge of tragic off our back, that we could have a really interesting game tomorrow where we come out with a certain kind of energy. And I love that they sat Fred last night. That really made sense. Sore groin. Wink, wink. Yeah, we know what's going on. He did just get engaged to his fiance, so he does probably have a sore groin. But yeah, that's what I always think when they say the injury is that. And I know that it's just a rest game and that they're not really that hurt. It's just that they just had a back to back. They didn't feel like playing Fred on the second night because it's Houston. Come on. Do we need Fred for that game? It's just really smart stuff. So for Denver, I'll be full effect and be ready. I'll give a good, I'll give a good preview tomorrow. And hopefully they'll play perfect against Jokic and company tomorrow. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Darren saying, hey, super freaks, unite. Yeah, super freak. We're super freaking out because we got Thaddeus Young on the Raptors now. And this is the thing about Thaddeus that people don't realize. The Raptors have coveted Thaddeus Young for years. We probably wanted Thaddeus Young on our team since like 2015, 2014. We wanted this dude on our team for like 7 years, y'all. And that's why, listen, when they were like, this is what Bobby Webster said about the flurry of activity at 2:50 yesterday before 3 o'clock. He's getting all kinds of calls, all kinds of new offers on the table. It's a little more stressful. But this is the thing that I like about what he did with Masai Ujiri and the rest of the Raptors management, that he picked a guy in the craziness of all that they already thoroughly scouted, somebody they already knew that they wanted for years, and they just pulled the trigger and finally got him now. And they didn't go out of bounds. They knew this guy's a culture fit. They knew this guy's a character fit. He fits some of the stuff that we need, and that's smart. And the other thing that's really cool about the Thaddeus Young acquiring is that he's an unrestricted free agent this summer. That means his money, if he doesn't work out with us for the rest of the year right now, means we can let him walk. And it's no big deal. We still get that money freed up. So that there's so much winning in this move. And I'll even talk about the draft picks. Like people are saying, oh no, we gave up a first round draft pick. Oh no, a first round draft pick. Oh no. Everybody freaks out about that. Well, listen, and I said this online yesterday to people that were freaking out about this, is the Raptors don't need high draft picks to win. We've proven this. We were lucky and got a lottery pick last year, and it's huge. It's Scotty Barnes, and that's awesome. But these teams that think you want to get lottery picks over and over again every year means you just stack yourself with so much talent in certain ways that sometimes it doesn't fit really well together. And then you have to make tough decisions about which guys to keep and which ones not to and stuff like that. I really like who we have. So if we don't get another first round pick for like 2 or 3 years right now, I don't give a shit because we've got our core. We've got our best players. We don't need some youngster to come in and save us. And the thing is, what they did with the draft pick switching yesterday was they traded a late round first pick, a later first round pick for an early second round pick. And the other thing that matters in this is the second round pick came from Detroit. So that means Detroit is near the bottom of the league right now. And that means if Detroit, where they end up, that means we may get one of the first picks in the second round. So there's nothing wrong with this. The difference between picking at the beginning of the second round and at the end of the first round is negligible at this point. And really, when you have masterminds of scouting and looking at talent and stuff like that, Masai Ujiri's first job in the NBA was as a scout. He was a scout. He drove around and looked at players. These guys know what they're doing, and they can scout and find guys like Delano Banton and Pascal Siakam at the beginning of the second round or at the end of the first round. It's negligible. It's the same thing. So basically, we turned an absentee player and a draft pick, and we went a little bit further down in the draft, but we turned around and got a player that will actually play for us and be useful. Now got this tragic motherfucker out of here. So I love the deal all around. I love that it's flexible within that. If we don't work out with Thaddeus Young, that we don't need to keep him in the summer. We do have his bird rights. So we do have first rights to signing him back as an unrestricted free agent. But if it doesn't work out, we can let him walk and use the money elsewhere. So it's a really great, flexible play, nice and simple. Most people were like, oh my gosh, this is what we got all worked up in a tizzy and made all these speculations and talked about, and this is what we get. Well, this is exactly how it should have been and how it went. And I'm glad they did something, and I'm glad that Dragic is gone. That was really the biggest thing we needed to do. Just get something worthwhile, something that we can use for this useless guy who was not a professional. You said you'd be a professional, Dragic, and you were not. You were not a professional, and you got to take that back, man. You're not a professional basketball player because you don't act professionally. Yeah, I said it. You made that promise at the beginning of the year that you'd act like a professional, and you did not. So fuck you, Goran Dragic. And now you can get bought out by the San Antonio Spurs, and you'll probably get your wish. You can walk on over to Luka's little party house in Dallas and try and play for the Mavs and break their rotation. You're not going to get to play. You'll sit at the end of the bench, and you'll be Luka's personal little cheerleader guy. That's what you're going to be. Oh, yeah. Calipun. All right. Let's see. He's saying, good morning and welcome. For fuck's sake, if the Raptors get Ennis, I'm boycotting the team. He's an idiot and he sucks. Wow. That's a first statement by a new person coming in here. It's very bold and stuff like that. I wouldn't boycott the team just because we got somebody that you may think is an idiot or something like that. I thought Goran Dragic was an idiot, but I didn't boycott the Raptors. I mean, that's a very shaky Raptor fandom. I'm sorry. You can't do that. You can't say that. You got to stick with the team. Now, I don't think that this is likely. This is just a rumor that I heard on top of all the other rumors. He was just another name, and it may be partly because Boston just traded him to Houston, and he's getting bought out, and he's just going to be in the buyout market and available. And maybe some people are saying, oh, we still need a center. Let's go get him. But they still don't realize that the way we play center is with power forwards that are almost centers, like two of them on the court at once, and that we don't need a full center. Like everybody's crying out for it. Well, we'll see tomorrow. Let's see what happens with Jokic and see how we handle him. But yeah, I think it's a bunch of hot air. I wouldn't be too worried, Kala. But you know what? Don't be wavering like that. Like you're going to boycott the Raptors just because we get somebody who's politically kind of controversial. Because in a lot of ways, I am somebody. I don't know exactly what Cantor's saying or the things that he believes, but I do know that he's a political refugee that seeked asylum from Turkey and its government and some of the things that have happened over there that are really bad, and that he's a voice of freedom in some ways. This is exactly why he changed his name. I don't know all the stupid shit he's saying conspiracy theory wise, but at least from that point, at being a political asylum person coming here and getting his citizenship and being able to stay here instead of going back where he could be murdered in his home country, that's something there. There's some bravery in that, but I don't know what all he's saying is political platform. So he may be a real idiot in what you're saying. I don't think it's likely to happen, but please don't just jump off and boycott the Raptors because of something like that. That's silly. That is just silly. Come on. And Darren, don't agree with him. You're a real one. Come on. You're not going to leave the Raptors just because of that. Guys, it's not going to happen. Let's just I forget that I even said that. I shouldn't even brought it up. It's just speculation. All right, bench had 39 points last night. Gee, yes, that's something to point out right there. Yeah, it was really good. I mean, they got more time. That's really a big part of it. With no Fred in the lineup, that really showed that Malachi needed to come out there and do a couple things just to chase Green and a couple of those guys around a little bit. And he did a good job, and he got 22 minutes. But yeah, that was really good to see the bench get some scoring. We only had 5 guys get double digits, and 2 of them were off the bench. Chris was 16 and Delano with 10. And they got extended run. It was a really good game against the Rockets. The Rockets have some good talent. They have some ballers, some guys who can really fill up the hoop, but they have no direction. They have no continuity or organization between all their players and stuff like that. And so when a team has a plan and a game plan and they're executing like we have been, like Pascal is just so amazing right now. Like, honestly, the fact that he shot 3 for 19 again last night. If you look at the last 2 games and his shooting percentage, he's shooting like 80% from the field. It's absolutely insane. It's badass. And Pascal is one of the best players in this league. I'm sorry. If you have to pick 10 players that are the best players in the NBA, Pascal needs to be in the top 10 on that list because of the way he takes over in his all-around play. Oh, so good. So good. All right. Sam Moses Brown was waived by Dallas yesterday. Okay, so he's out there. We'll see. But I really think that this move bodes that we're going to maybe look for shooters or something like that, because I think Thaddeus kind of takes care of the middle of everything we wanted, like some more size. Somebody can still pass and dribble the ball and can score a bit. And you know what? The other thing about Thaddeus Young on the download that people don't realize is that he's one of the best offensive rebounders in the league. Like his offensive rebounding numbers for how much time he gets on there are insane. So we're just going to have another crazy crashing the boards guy who's going to come out there and do that kind of stuff. And speaking of that, we saw Chris again doing so much good work on the offensive boards last night, whether it's just pestering, getting a foul drawn on the other team from positioning, or, trying to get the putback. He had a couple of times where he got the ball and he almost put it back. But yeah, he's sensational right now. I'm so happy with Chris Boucher. And you see the joy in his game. And once again, after the game, every single one of the Raptors is posting on Instagram pictures of Gary Trent and his 42 graphic that the Raptors.com puts on Instagram. They all repost it. Every single, most of the guys on the team are just sharing in the love. Scotty, Fred, Pascal, they're all sharing the achievements of their teammates as they get them as we go along. And all these guys are getting achievements left and right as we go. So good. Monique saying, so Chris Boucher really thought he was going to be traded. See? Yeah, no, I don't think he did. I mean, nobody thought that. I didn't think that. Bobby didn't think that. I don't think Chris deep down inside thought that. I mean, maybe in the back of, we've been talking about this all week. Maybe some of the players are like, well, it is within the realm of possibility, but I don't think it's likely. I don't feel like it's going to happen. And it is what it happened the way it was supposed to. But I don't think any of those guys were really that worried that they were going to get moved. I mean, really, the vibe is so good on the team. You don't want to take away from that. You want to add to it. And that's why I wasn't worried about this. Like these guys are ensconced. as guys that are important to our team concept, the way they're playing right now. And there's only, a few guys on the team that I'd actually want to trade at this point. Everybody thinks it's so easy to trade Chris Boucher, but it isn't. He's becoming a role player that gives you so many intangibles that are important towards winning basketball. And that's why you want more role players like him if you want to have a championship team. So he is a championship team kind of role player. And we don't want to give that up for nothing, for an unknown, for somebody that has nothing to do it. So I didn't really think there was any teeth or reality to any of our guys really getting moved, because some people were even talking about move Pascal for this person and get big chips moved. Like some people want us to try and get Harden, or some people wanted us to try and get Simmons. Well, you see, they did that little passing in the night. Now they're on different teams. This is the deal I thought was going to happen all season. At the beginning of the year, I was saying, Harden's going to get traded for Simmons because the Simmons situation is garbage. And I just know how James Harden is also. And yeah, it happened finally. And honestly, I think this makes both teams worse. I mean, the NBA machine is already saying they're going to be better for this reason or that reason. Oh, Ben Simmons is the point guard that they needed in the Nets. And then you got James Harden coming in. Oh, he's going to be so good with it. You know what's going to probably happen? James Harden's going to piss off Embiid. He's going to mess up Philadelphia's chemistry. They're on a roll. They've been playing really good. He's going to fuck that team up. James Harden doesn't help teams. He messes teams up with his ego and the way he has to be, and then carries himself. And he's more in check on the Nets because he's dealing with Durant. And Durant is clearly a guy above him in the league. So he has to respect that to a degree. But when he goes to Philadelphia, he may not have that same kind of respect for Joel Embiid, who's younger than him. And I think that he's going to be causing some headaches for them. That, just because they did this deal and it may be, oh gosh, now the Simmons saga is over. He strong-armed this, got out. Doesn't mean that this helps them. And I know that their odds went up to make the championship better. That's what Vegas thinks. But I don't see that. I think you got to figure out whether it's a culture fit. There's no telling whether James and Joel Embiid will like each other or get along. And the other way, Ben Simmons in some ways to me is damaged goods at this point. That at this point, he's going to be playing for Brooklyn and New York City. He thought that Philadelphia fans were tough on him. He's going to have New York fans on him just as bad now. If he fucks up and he starts causing any kind of stupid shit there, he's going to have them turn on him, and he's just going to have another city where he can't play. And just think about all the times Brooklyn's going to have to come back and play Philadelphia. Is he going to be this guy who's just not doing that great because of depression and his problems, that he can't perform anymore because the Philadelphia fans are in his head that much? He's not going to like playing against the Sixers in Philly now that he's gone. He's going to get it good from the fans. And this is the thing. Kyrie is another whole thing involved in this whole equation with Ben Simmons on the Nets. And his coming in and out and stuff like that just seems very chaotic. And I don't know what the timetable for Simmons is to join the Nets and try and start playing with them, because he needs time to just get his head cleared and figure out his own shit in his own life, because it sounds like he has mental problems, y'all. And I don't think that this is going to be such a slam dunk for either one of these teams. I'm hoping that they get all fucked up with their chemistry because of this. All right, there we go. That's that little bit on that whole big trade I wanted to say with that. All right, let's keep going. Darren saying, gee, it was for Rockets. Anyone can score. Yeah, I don't discount the 39 points by the bench. We need that production. We need that kind of confidence building for those guys, especially Malachi. It was really good to see him all around have a good game. Nick Nurse was glowing about his performance, his defensive effort, just the different things he did. He made good decisions. Didn't look like he didn't belong out there, which is really important. And yeah, okay, sure, it was Houston. It's a little bit easier of opponent, but still, you need to have baby steps and start building towards something still. And who knows? It may be that Malachi gets a chance here and there in every game going forward just because of this. Or not every game, but here and there more often. We'll see. Our bench was averaging 10 to 14 even against bad teams. So, yeah, that's a double output. So that's really good. That is really good. I agree with G. Let's not discount this accomplishment by the Raptors bench, because listen, we've had such a hard time getting any points off the bench. We finally do. Let's be like, yay, woo, we did. Because that is a big deal, honestly. It is a big deal. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, people. Oh, yeah, you guys are way ahead. I love that y'all are here, and there's lots to talk about today. There definitely is lots to talk about. Okay, Darren's saying they almost traded Boucher. Glad he's still here. Yeah, that would have been dumb. They can't, they really got to be careful. When you start involving players that are doing well for you, you got to really make sure that the stuff you have coming back for you is going to be really good, because you don't want to have a decline because of what you did. And I really do like what the Raptors did. Thaddeus Young's going to be very useful. And this second player that we don't know who it's going to be, by March 1st, we'll have them. And that's going to be another really big boon. And then when we think about it, we could actually look at it this way. We traded Kyle Lowry for Precious Achiuwa, Thaddeus Young, and whatever the second player is going to be that we get. That's going to be who we got for Lowry now, instead of Fuckface, who's not on our team anymore. Thank God. Yeah. All right, let's see. AJB001, welcome. We're here every morning live streaming between 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. at some point, talking about daily Raptor stuff that's happened. He's saying, we really needed a more mature, experienced guy, bigger than Scotty, more experienced than Fred Siakam, to help secure culture going forward, towards future Toronto Dynasty. Still prefer Huskies over Raptors. This is an old school fan. I don't know if you were around in 1947 when we had the Huskies, but yeah, that's an interesting name. I've always thought that was an interesting name for our team, but I like the Raptors. I like the culture. I like the dinosaur. I love the mascot. I mean, the guy who plays the Raptor is amazing. And, Huskies is good for the throwback stuff. And it is a part of the history of the NBA right from the beginning. So it is important. I think we got somebody more mature and more experienced than our guys, just because Thaddeus has played like so many playoff games. And I mean, he's been playing in the league since 2008, y'all. So that's a lot of years in the league. And this is the thing. He wasn't just a scrub in this league. He's averaged double digits for his career throughout the years. And he's also got really good rebounding numbers for all the years. So he's going to be somebody that can really help us. It's not exactly what most Raptor fans were thinking. They all wanted to hit a home run or have something really flashy and big happen. But this is exactly what we needed to happen. We had something happen. We didn't just stand pat, and it was just enough. It's just a little incremental addition at this time, but it allows all kinds of flexibility no matter what in the future. It does not make us have a harder time with like taking on a bigger contract that we didn't want to take for longer than this summer and stuff like that. This is really, really smart move in all kinds of ways. We made a guy who's been absentee into somebody we can actually play. And that's a big deal. Yeah, Thaddeus and his wife are very excited. They should be. I mean, listen, he's coming from the bench in San Antonio, which isn't a bad place to be. I'm sure he enjoyed his time there. It's not that he hated it. It's just he wished he probably was playing more. And now he's going to be on a team that's in the playoff hunt. He's going to be able to, possibly play in games that matter more. And feel good about it. And plus, that connection with OG Anunoby can't be understated. There's a real friendship and mentorship that, like, Thaddeus Young has been a mentor to OG on the down low for many years already. So this is like reconnecting a Padawan with his Obi-Wan. Like they're together and they can be like on the same team and have that kind of fun and camaraderie. That's really good. It's really good. Yeah. Yeah. So you agree with me, AJ? Yeah, you see that Thad Young can be a part of what we were saying, and I agree with that. He really is. He could be helpful, and this is the thing. He doesn't have to necessarily be long term. He doesn't have to be a part of the future for the dynasty. It's just for right now at this time. He really helps and stuff like that. So yeah, Darren's saying Thad is a really good defensive guy. He will play. Yeah, it really is going to be how quick can he learn our system and feel comfortable in it and look like seamless like everybody else is doing. Because that's the thing. We're playing at such a high level right now that it really is demanded of anyone who steps on the court with the Raptors right now on their team has to be playing at that level. And that's why I'm so happy with Malachi, because he showed a new level of defensiveness that I've never seen. In fact, Malachi was playing dirty last night. I don't know if y'all saw it, but he got 4 fouls in 20-something minutes, and he was reaching in a lot, and he was just getting in and just being aggravating to the other team. Like, he did a really good job, and that peskiness is really working out. I mean, Gary was masterful at it again last night. Some of the steals and stuff that he did last night, fantastic, so good. He's such a joy to watch right now, and so smooth and so quick at getting points Oh my gosh, that 42, it didn't even seem like he was laboring to get it. That's why I really think he's going to get a 50 piece at some point by the end of the season. Oh, yeah, you will. He just makes more of his shots. He can get a 50 piece like that. All right, let's see. Gee, did you hear Gary's interview? He's so happy here. Yes, it was so much music to my ears to hear Gary's after game interview with Amy Audibert saying that he would not like to be anywhere else than here. So you hear that, Lakers. You could covet him and say, we want Gary Trent Jr. to play with LeBron. Well, lots of people want Gary Trent. All the ladies, the single ladies in Toronto want Gary Trent Jr. They're interested in him. Well, Gary Trent Jr. is only interested in playing in Toronto, and he's where he wants to be, and he is so happy. You can tell. I mean, listen, this dude is balling out, and he is so happy. Great interview once again after the game. Race Mode Daily. Thank you. Thank you for the compliment. He's saying, give me a thumbs up. Y'all, actually, really, what I'm asking for today is subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscriptions so that I can get into that zone where they actually allow me to have advertisers and monetize and stuff like that. Race Mode, I found out I just got to get 1,000 subscribers, and then I'm good. I can go forward with monetization. So please subscribe, y'all. If you're watching me regularly anyway, why not just subscribe? Just hit that little button. And I know every YouTube channel does this little spiel and stuff like that, but I'm actually really want to push to try and get to this number because I'm going to get there eventually, and I want y'all to help me. And I hope I can get there by the end of this season through the playoffs at some point. As more excitement for the Raptors builds, there'll be more people coming. I know. And I really appreciate you saying that. Race Mode. Gee, I didn't realize Stat has good IQ and good passer. Not comparing him to Gasol, but that type of beast off the bench is my thinking. Yeah, he's a good passer. He can dribble the ball. He's basically like somebody has put it as this, that Thaddeus Young is actually like the original grandfather to the positionless type scheme. He's been the positionless player, one of the first ones that came into the league in like 2 decades ago. So like in 2008. So it's like he's the grandfather of positionless basketball. It just makes sense that he's come to us now at this point to full circle this, that he is now with us, because he does do a lot of the things we demand of the positionless scheme, whether it's ball handling, passing, shooting, rebounding, good defense. He has them all, checks them all off. All right, Banana Bread Tan. I love it. That's a great name. Welcome. We're here every morning. I hope you'll come in and interact with us on the live stream every day. I read all the comments. I'm not omitting them, even if they're crazy. Let's see what he's saying. Keeping Malachi is big. I think he's got a shot at becoming Van Vliet 2.0. All right. I love this, that somebody's coming in here with a positive slant on a guy that we've been kind of slagging this year. And that, yes, I'm so happy that Malachi finally got time on the court last night and excelled, played really well. And I think you're right that in some ways that was the plan all along, that he's supposed to be the successor behind Fred VanVleet. He's definitely Fred VanVleet's new apprentice. He's teaching him all of his tricks, kind of like Lowry taught him. He gave him the blueprint. He's given the blueprint to Malachi, the next level down. And you know what? I want Malachi to succeed. I want his dad to shut up on social media. But like, other than that, I always wanted Malachi to do well. But if his dad's going to be a headache and causing a confusion or problems just because he's outspoken on his Facebook, then I'm like, yeah, get him out of here then. But if his dad can shut up and Malachi can start playing better, hey, but that was the plan all along. He was supposed to be the next Fred VanVleet. They called him Red VanVleet for a while there. So yeah, I like that attitude. Thanks for coming in, Banana Bread, and giving us a good positive spin on Malachi right now, because a lot of people in here have been really negative about him lately, and I love the positivity. I really do. Paul B, 8 is great. 8 is great. Yes. But you know what is even more fine? 9. Yeah, 9. Even more fine is 9. Tomorrow night, baby, a date with the Joker. Let's take him down. Let's take this huge task. We have not seen the Nuggets yet this year. It's a top Western team. We need to go and show something to them. Prove something to the NBA that we're not for like some fake 8-game win streak, any kind of that. We're earning it, and we can beat anybody who comes across our path. Because this is the big one before the All-Star break. Sure, Minnesota's going to be tough too. New Orleans has its own kind of problems with it too. But this is going to be a big test. And if we win this one, I feel like we could streak right on out into the All-Star break. Tomorrow is a huge game. Huge game, and I'll have the right preview for it. I'll do the research today, and I'll come correct with a preview for you guys tomorrow morning. All right, let's see. Let's keep going. Callie, good morning, Callie. I know your stress meter wasn't too bad last night. She's saying, I'm really excited for our team to be playing at home with more fans. Oh, yeah, this is all supposed to start developing over the next little while. I don't know if tomorrow we're going to have but we'll still have that limited 500 people capacity still. And then I think around next week at some point will be after the All-Star break, because we're on the road until the All-Star break after tomorrow. It's the only home game we have. Then we get to be half capacity after this game tomorrow. So tomorrow's the last game with just 500 people, selected season ticket holder fans from the lottery system. The season ticket holders have been jerked around so much this season that I'm really glad that they're getting these awesome little special VIP games to go to and just sit in there and have fun in that intimate setting. And actually, I really like that capacity in some ways. It's really good for like hearing voices and cheering and stuff like that. It'd be fun to go myself. I imagine my loud ass voice in there, I would be dominating that whole building, and everybody would be looking at me to tell me to shut the fuck up because I would be so loud. Because there's no people in there, they really hear me. So yeah, I think it's coming quick. And Callie, I'm excited about it too, because I know all of us that are around in Toronto that go to the games are excited to possibly be able to return, and that in itself may be a real boost and push and lift up our team with another extra boost as the season goes on, going back to full capacity sometime in mid-March. That's what I'm hearing. Around St. Patrick's Day, maybe just before, we should be back at full capacity. Yeah. All right, let's go. Banana Bread 10. Hopefully he gets bigger this summer. He's talking about Malachi. Yeah, he could put on some more muscle. He's still very young. I mean, what is his second year still? He could get stronger. Think about how Fred looked when he first came to the Raptors. If you remember 905 Fred, he was a little skinny guy. He was very much smaller. He's definitely put in the work and added some real strong muscle. It's like Kyle Lowry's workout to make this big butt, like strong body, is like kind of what Fred is doing too. Because if you look at him, he may be one of the smallest guys on the court, but he's definitely not one of the weakest guys. He's one of the strong guys on the court, because for being that small, he can really put his hands on like guys that are 7 feet tall and like out muscle them, getting the ball, like stripping them and stuff like that. That is something else. So maybe Malachi needs to get on that Kyle Lowry, Fred VanVleet bulk muscle diet where they get even bigger. And I think you're right. A little bit more weight on Malachi this summer, more muscle, would really do him some benefits, I think. So Monique's saying Eric Flynn was jumping on his couch. Yeah, I bet he's going crazy last night. He probably was like, yeah, Baba, he's playing. Man, hopefully that'll be enough for him to just shut up for maybe 2 more months of the season. He's like, yeah, he's going to get the play. He's going to get his chance. There's a reasoning behind Nick Nurse benching guys and making them hungry, because when they come back in, you see how hungry they are. They're like, we really have to try, and they have to really play at that excellent quality that the guys who are playing at, because these guys are super talented and they're playing a certain premium quality of basketball. And that when you bring these guys in off the bench, there cannot be any drop off. These guys have to come in with the same kind of quality and energy. And if they're not doing it, they're failing. And that's why they have not been seeing the court. And I love that he showed it last night, finally. And even Yuta was pretty good for the most part. It's too bad Yuta didn't score more, but you know what? That block by itself is such a hard play that he went up and he was successful. He blocked the shit out of that guy. He challenged him at the basket, and not many players in the league have the balls to try and challenge shots like that, because that's the easy way to get on a poster. Anthony Edwards with Yuta. Yeah, we know about that. But you know what? He'll go 100 times out of 100 times, Yuta's going to jump. That's what he said. And I love that. I love him just for that. I don't care if he's not the best player in the world. I just love his heart and the fact that he said stuff like that. Oh, my gosh. Let's see. Darren. Yeah, that Lou Will, Gary Trent Sr. interview opened the love portal. Junior owning up to it now. 42 points. Holy crap. Yes, he's such a winner. Gary Trent Jr. is a winner. Another thing he posted on his social media this week was old clips of him as a kid in like elementary school and stuff. Like we talked about how he won championships in elementary school, like when he's playing basketball at that level. And he showed some clips of it, and he was like showing clips of him. He's like same shooter, same moves, and he's showing how he do the same step to the side, the same jab step back, those kind of shots. And he's doing those moves as a little kid even then. And I think that's so fun. And that's the thing that I really am taking from that Gary Trent Sr. Interview the most, other than the fact that we saved him from depression in Portland, the fact that Gary Trent Jr. is a winner at every single level of where he's played: elementary school, middle school, high school, college, Olympic team. He's been a winner. And now he's ready to come and be a winner at the NBA level with guys who are proven winners from before: Pascal Siakam and Fred VanVleet. And I am so here for it. And I know all y'all are here for it too. We have winners on our team, and that's why we're going to win. Oh, yeah. All right, let's keep going. Let's see. Kene, good morning, man. Always good to see Kene. Malachi was great last night. Yes, I love this. I want to talk more positive about these guys who've been struggling. This is exactly what Fred VanVleet wanted. He doesn't want to get new point guard to be studying underneath him. He wants his protege that he has already. He wants to see Malachi succeed. He wants our guys that are already on the bench to step up and fill the need that we thought we needed through the trade deadline. And man, last night really boded well. It was the Houston Rockets, but still, even if we have a lot of shitty teams we're going to play for the rest of the season, our guys at the end of the bench could really fill up some time and get rest for our guys as we get closer to the playoffs, where there may be some fatigue from this crazy rotation, like tight starting five, getting a lot of minutes rotation. It could change a lot as we see more and more opponents that are like the Rockets that aren't that good. The bench guys could be starting to take more of the pie in those kind of games, and we're still winning. It's really measuring that, balancing that, like being able to play your lesser bench guys against a lesser opponent and still getting the W's night in, night out. You got to figure out the right balance. So let's keep going. Gee, I think Raps now have 3 second-round picks next season. Joker was a pick 41, so Magic can come from anywhere. Yeah. And this is the thing. As deadly and as nasty as Gary and Fred are from 3 and anywhere out there, Masai and Bobby are just as nasty at picking late draft picks and making them gold, spinning them into gold. I mean, we don't even need the draft picks to get gold. Look at Justin Champagnie. Look at Fred VanVleet. We get undrafted guys that turn into huge players. So it's like Delano last season, and like even David Johnson, we don't know how he'll develop. He could end up being something really special also in some ways. It may not be on our team, but he may end up going somewhere and being somebody. But Delano, a second-round pick, look at who he is and what he's doing on the level that he's doing right now. A lot of second-round picks don't get to do stuff like what Delano's doing right now, and that's why I have full confidence. It doesn't matter where they're picking. They're going to find gold, and they're going to bring somebody interesting to our team, whether it's like a Pascal Siakam or, a Delano Band. So I don't care where the Raptors pick. It's like put us anywhere on the court. We'll hit the shot, the logo Fred, and put us anywhere in the draft. We'll make the shot there too. I love it. That's why it's like every other team really overvalues draft lottery picks, like huge high picks and draft picks in general, where the Raptors don't need to, because we've already shown we can bypass that system to build a winning program of championship caliber without having a bunch of lottery picks. In fact, having lottery picks shows that you've been a losing team over and over again, and that's usually not a good thing. Talk to OKC or maybe Philadelphia 5 years ago. Yeah. It doesn't mean you're going to be any good. All right, let's see. Darren saying Flynn is going to get played till playoffs. Then he and Svi become on the elf on the shelf. Elves on the shelf. That's a funny reference. Well, listen, they could be good, like situational players off the bench. Like the thing that really brought Malachi into the game last night and had him playing for so many minutes was that Jalen Green guy, and chasing their little guards around was really hard last night. Like our bigger guys had a really hard time containing Jalen in the beginning of the game. He was just absolutely killing us. There were so many points in the paint for Houston at the beginning of the game. It was making me mad. Like they got 40 points in the first quarter last night. I'm like, are they going to start playing defense? defense. It was almost like I felt like Nick Nurse told them, all right, don't play any defense at the beginning of the game. And then in the second quarter, start to play a little bit of defense. And then the second half will completely play our defense and like see what happens, because they didn't play any fucking defense in the first quarter last night. They had 20 points by 6 minutes in the game, and then they had 41 at the end of that first quarter, and they were basically just scoring right in the middle of the paint, like easy at will. And so I feel like what they did was they brought in Malachi to kind of chase Jalen Green down, kind of aggravate him a little bit more. And that is why you need maybe possibly Malachi. Because if Fred wasn't there, Fred normally can chase the little guy like that happens. But when you play the big positionless scheme that we do with the bigger point guards with Delano and Pascal and Scotty running point, sometimes those little guys can get through and cause us Muggsy Bogues problems. And that's why we need a little guy like Malachi still off the bench as a backup defensive guard for little guys. And that's really why he got a lot of run last night, is because he was handling Green better, because Green was absolutely killing us at the beginning. Porter Jr., oh my gosh, the stuff that guy was doing at the beginning of the game. He had like their first 11 points. We're playing any defense. And then we were just like, all right, let's stop fucking around. We'll start playing defense. And Pascal just started operating like a surgeon. I mean, he really does like cut the other team up on the offensive end. Like, it's such a beautiful thing to see right now. The way that Pascal's playing is playing at a level of excellence like Kobe and Michael Jordan do, with their muscles and just their footwork and just their body and where they're playing. It's very calculated. And I love seeing it. And like, Pascal's making so many good decisions right now. It's so fun to watch. It's so fun to watch. All right, let's see what else you guys are saying. G said, I think Raps now have 3. Oh, yeah, I just read that one. Darren, Flynn is going to get played till. Oh, yeah, we just read that one. All right, let me go forward. Darren saying, we are 1 or 2 pickups for a dynasty run. Chips. I smell chips. Well, it's like, all right, the form of our team will have new and old coming through. And some of the old will get sloughed off and new will come in. It's kind of like how the Spurs perpetually were a playoff team for like a few decades. Like, it's really, you got to have new guys coming in. You have turnover, but you keep the same kind of core, the same kind of mentality, the same system. You just have new guys passing through and old guys coming out, different things like that. So there'll be some turnover, but listen, I really like where we're at now after the trade deadline, going in with Thaddeus Young and the core that we have right now. And then in the offseason, we don't know what's going to happen with the buyout person too. Think about that. We're going to get one more new player still. And then in the offseason, we tinker with this. If Young is a good experiment with us on our team, then maybe we put some money invested in him for next year. But we don't have to. He's unrestricted. We can let him walk, and we can use that money instead. So there's a lot of flexibility to address any needs that may come up that we find out we do really need. We do really need this. I love the flexibility right now. And I smell chips too. I smell chips, all kinds of chips. I keep saying this. The Raptors are going to be a dynasty in the 2020 decade. We've got our first championship. We should expect to get 2 more at least. I'd like to have 3 championships within the next 5 years. Yeah, I want the Raptors to have 3 championships within the next 5 years. That means 2 more to the one we've already got. And I think that's very realistic. And some people may think I'm crazy, but motherfuckers, you better watch the Raptors and see how they're playing right now, because nobody wants to play them. And we are going to fuck people up in the playoffs. Don't get it twisted. The Raptors are a team nobody wants to play in the playoffs. I don't care how many moves anybody made last night. Like, even Boston made some moves and did different stuff. But that, to me, smacked of desperation. And honestly, they got rid of some of their good role players off the bench. Like, I couldn't believe they got rid of Romeo and also Richardson. Those 2 guys have been really good for them off the bench this year. And now they got Derek White from San Antonio, and they got Tice back. They brought that goon back to their team. So it's very interesting. Boston is back to being a little bit more like they were maybe a year ago with Tice on there. And I don't know what Derek White's going to do for them. He's a good player. He's interesting. He's a point guard. And they got rid of Schroeder. So they now have a real point guard. Let's see. All right, let's go. Yeah, G saying they are also making sure to have as much money as possible for the future to resign their cores. Yeah, that is really the big part of the planning, is really making sure that we got money for Scotty. We got money for Precious if we want to. We got money for this person. We got to figure out when Gary Trent exercises his option on his contract now that we may have to pay him a little more now because he's showing a new level of play. So yeah, stuff like that. Darren saying Goran won't get on Mavs. Dinwiddie took that spot. That's right. They did get Dinwiddie. They traded Dinwiddie. I told y'all he was on his way out of Washington because he didn't fit in there. They didn't like him. Nobody wanted Spencer on the team, so he had to get traded. And boy, he got traded for Kristaps. Holy crap. Kristaps Porzingis is now on the Washington Wizards. And honestly, the Wizards are garbage anyway. We already beat them for the season. And, I think we still played them one more time this season, or maybe not. We may not play them again. Who cares? They're not going to be consequential. And in a way, Porzingis is going to be out of this, the picture, and we shouldn't have to worry about that deal anyway. Let's see. Mike Python saying, people, after much deliberation, I've come to realize that we were perfectly fine with what we did. I like that, Monty. This is, once again, that is a very basic trust in Bobby, trust in Masai thought right there that, we did. We executed a couple things. We didn't fuck up our current chemistry and core. We just added. We got rid of a problem guy. We still have the flexibility that we had even with the problem guy, and we still have the prospect of bringing in somebody like DJ Wilson for the rest of the season because of this move. Like, it's given us the cap flexibility so that we can operate under the luxury tax and still get paid by the league at the end of the year, so that we're not over the luxury tax and have to pay into it. And that was a big part of all this too. So, man, Calipun, you're right. I'm exaggerating. Great commentary analysis. Yeah, I know. Everybody will just say, oh my gosh, no, I'm boycotting because Enes Kanter's on the team. I mean, if you really, really believe in some of the political stuff against what he's saying with conspiracy theories, and it's just on principle, you have to do that. I understand. There were people that boycotted the Raptors when Terrence Davis beat up his girlfriend in New York and he was still on the team. I know some really good Raptor fans that they were so against that kind of stuff that they couldn't in their conscience root for the Raptors while Terrence was still on our team because they thought maybe he was an abusive spouse. And they wouldn't come back and watch the games until he got traded to Sacramento. So that, if you have your own principles and you really mean it, and stand by it, I respect that. So, but yeah, man, I'm so glad you're here, Cal. And I hope you'll come back every day. We do this every day. So hopefully you can be here and, interact with us. I love hearing y'all's insight and commentary and analysis also. This is a shared thing. This isn't a one-sided thing where I'm just throwing information at y'all. Y'all are sharing information with me also, and I love that. Like yesterday, we were on the air when Goran got traded, and G broke the story to me. I didn't know that Goran got traded until he wrote it in here and said that Goran just got traded for Thaddeus Young. And then we all were like, woo, stuff like that. So Raymond Jacob, good morning. Always good to see you. Laugh out loud. I thought it was funny. LeBron and KD didn't want to pick Harden on their team. Yes. This stuff just writes itself. Sometimes that all-star draft special is one of the most entertaining things of the entire NBA season. Watching LeBron be a master draft picker. Like, if he's a GM and he's drafting guys, he's really good at that, but he's not really good at acquiring free agents for the Lakers. But he is really good at drafting for the All-Star game because he dominates on that. And guys, we gotta point this out. First of all, Fred's gonna be on the winning team right now because Fred got picked up by LeBron, and Fred's on the team with DeMar. So DeMar and Fred are gonna be on the same All-Star team, which is fantastic. And once again, the person who's picking against LeBron is I don't know what the fuck their logic is and their picks and stuff like that. Giannis was so stupid the way he picks his team against LeBron, and Kevin's not playing, so he didn't give a shit. But that was a really classic moment. Honestly, there's Gobert and there's Harden, 2 picks left. And Kevin's like, I'm picking Rudy Gobert, and LeBron is laughing his ass off. Oh my gosh. Of course. I mean, this is kind of hilarious, y'all. The hype and the big deal about the Brooklyn Big Three this year has been insane. So overinflated. How many games did those 3 guys actually play together? They played 16 games all together the whole time that they had that Big Three together. And what a fucking failure that was, that Big Three experiment. That's what I'm telling y'all. Any team that's trying to fast track to get a championship by collecting top caliber guys at the top, like Russell Westbrook, it's a short-sighted fallacy, and you're going to fuck up your team. And I love that this whole big three for Brooklyn was such a complete and utter failure. I love it so much. Fuck Brooklyn. I know Starscreams may come in here and watch this at some point, but I'm sorry, man. I know. I actually be interesting to see what Starscream's opinion is of the deal yesterday with Harden. But yeah, that was such a golden moment. That should be like an NBA moment, classic NBA moment when Durant picked Gobert over Harden. It was such good drama, man. Oh man, Darren's saying, laugh out loud. Goran is going to be teamless. Well, this is the thing. He's going to be one of these names on the buyout market, like Drew Eubanks, Ennis Freedom, Goran Dragic. These are all guys that nobody wants on their team right now, but they're out there. If you got money and you got an open roster spot, go get them, and maybe you can get them on cheap. I've heard there may be a couple teams interested in him, but we'll see. Maybe Goran has an overinflated idea of what his value is in the league at this point, and he may be just sitting at home at this point. That's hilarious. Monty Python saying, we don't need a center at all. No such thing on this roster, just a squad of power forwards that can handle. Yeah, it's crazy. Like Kem Birch last night played a lot in the game, and he was really doing center kind of stuff last night. Like they have some tall players on Houston. That Christian Wood guy is really crazy long and like does some really interesting stuff between the 3-point shooting and the stuff down near the basket. And Kem was kind of important in the game at times. Like you really see Kem, like I said in recent live streams, that Kem really does prototypical center kind of things, whether it's his box outs, whether it's the way he sets screens, whether it's just the way he plays defense around the rim. This is all good center stuff. And he was doing a lot of that last night. He did really good stuff for us last night. But you can tell the mask is annoying. He does not like wearing it. And it's hindering his game to a degree because he was much better at the beginning of the season. He's a little bit more limited with the mask on for right now. But hopefully he'll get the mask off before the end of the season and be able to just play maskless in the playoffs, something like that. So we'll see. But I agree with this. I think we're good. Like these guys are they've just given up on having centers. Aaron Baines, that was the last real center that we're going to have on our team. I still kind of count Kem Birch as a real center. So let's see. Paul B., Raptors also save money by having a top second round pick instead of the first rounder committed salary, so we could spend on buyout market players too. This is really brilliant when Paul B just brought up because it's true. One of the things about switching from a late first round pick to an early second round pick, and really the spots, like it may be negligible, it may be like 6 or 7 spots from each other, is that the pay rates for guys who get drafted in the first round are much higher than in the second round. And then if we draft someone in the second round this coming off season, instead of in the first round with that pick, that may be a way of slashing payroll on the down low that we didn't think about. That if you pick somebody in the 20s in the first round, you have to pay them more because of rookie scale. And because they're in the second round, they get lowered. And that is actually a cost-saving move. From what Paul just said, is that I forgot to bring this up as another plus to the deal, but he's exactly right that we can save money in the future because we traded out of the first round into the second round. I know that makes weird sense, but in a way, the draft pick could be just as good because Bobby said it in the press conference yesterday. The talent in between those two ranges is negligible. They're very similar as far as the level of talent from maybe a 26 pick and a 33 pick. Something like that. And then you got to pay them less. So it's brilliant. It's actually really brilliant strategy. Kala, I wouldn't boycott the Raps. I just was shocked by the idea of them picking him up, but I'm sure he wouldn't get them. They only get smart players. Yeah, I agree with this too. I think he's a little too controversial. In some ways, he would fit in with our social justice warrior mantra of the Raptors and like us being political. But also it may be a headache. And honestly, he's so slow. This is the thing we got to realize about this whole getting a center talk is we don't want to go and get a center that's going to slow us down. Like even Nurkic, if we got Nurkic yesterday, he would come in, he'd slow our game down to a degree. And I don't want that. I want our pace to be super high. I want all of our guys to be able to get up and down the court real fast, maybe even participate in full court presses without being tired. things like that. And when you bring in a roster guy like that and they don't fit into that, that's part of what the conflict in the NBA is right now. Like when we played Oklahoma City the other night, Derek Favors was outpaced in that game, and the Thunder could not play him. They had to bench him in the first quarter because he couldn't keep up in the game because he was too slow as a big guy. So if you get somebody like Cantor, he's too slow for our style. So I don't think it makes any sense. I think that this was just another like speculator of trades that's thinking from a need standpoint with us, and they think, oh, we need a center. Now Cantor is available, so let's put this out there as a rumor. And I wish I hadn't even brought it up, but it was one of the main names that I heard among things. But I've heard DJ Wilson, and on the reverse, DJ Wilson fits exactly what I'm talking about. He can get up and down the court. So that's really part of the mold that Bobby Webster is describing of the prototypical Raptor that he wants to have on this team. 7-foot wingspan, but they can run up and down the court, they can pass, and they can dribble. So yeah, I know everybody exaggerates and says something like that, but here we're very serious. We take oaths and we have blood sacrifice rituals because we're a cult, the cult of the Raptor freak. Very positive Raptor fans. No, I'm just kidding. We don't do any blood sacrifice, but no, we do take it very seriously about being positive and sticking by the team no matter thick and thin. None jumping off and on the bandwagon depending on whether they're winning or losing or stuff like that. So we just unconditionally love the team and root for them no matter what. Kenny's saying, I'm just happy trade window has come and gone and we didn't mess with our chemistry and momentum. I know, man. I am seconding what Kenny said right here. I am exactly in the same place with you, that it's come and gone. We don't have to listen to all this bullshit anymore, all this fan fiction, making up, trade machine talk. And, now, and we didn't mess anything up. That's really, that probably happened to a few teams yesterday, y'all. There was so much activity going every which way. Some of it seemed really desperate. Some of it seemed like it wasn't necessary. And I think some teams may have just fucked themselves up and they don't even realize it. So, that's the thing. There's an unknown now for a lot of teams this morning because they have a new kind of roster. And there's no guarantees whether this roster is actually better than the one they had the day before. So I love it. Let them roll the dice on it. We know what we've got, and we want to keep going with it. And that's the best thing to do, and we didn't fuck it up. It's so good. Paul B saying, it was great to see Delano score and throw up some nasty crossovers and runners off the glass. His size was great. Oh, man, that camera angle on that one side to side, that crossover he did where he absolutely killed his defender. And Boogie Williams said something about that's the back and forth or something like that. Yeah, that was really nice. And the camera angle was just so good on it that you really caught how much he swung this way and then he swung that way and got around. It was so beautiful. So beautiful. And I love you brought that up, Paul. Delano really was, he had a mixed bag. He had a couple of issues. Like he did have a bad turnover at one point, but for the most part, he was really good. One of the things I like about his game last night is that he shot 5 for 8. The only 3 shots he missed were his 3-point attempts, but he had 4 rebounds and 3 assists with 10 points. So he was producing all around in 20 minutes. Getting assists and rebounds. So that's really good. Callie saying, I love how Delano took it full court for a basket. Yeah, he does that from time to time. It's like him and Precious sometimes, or Scotty, like these full court things that are guys that are big, that can handle the ball. It's such a huge advantage for us. Once again, that it doesn't matter who brings the ball down in a defensive rebound. They can have the ability to dribble the ball up the court, go all the way and just dunk it. That we don't need to outlet to a point guard to handle the point guard duties to bring the ball up the court. We can get the guy can bring it down himself and just put the ball in the court and start dribbling right up the court, right like that. And Delano being able to go right around, sneak through, kind of slither through and just sneak and put the ball in the basket real close is a huge, huge bonus for him. And he's going to be a great player. And we're going to be talking about him as a second-round steal in the years to come. One of these guys, the Raptors, just mine gold in the second round. And Delano's going to be that guy. Tom Duke, woohoo! Let's Go Raptors, 8 in a row, baby. Let's go for 9. Go for 9 tomorrow. Tom Duke says, glad trade deadline is over. Oh, man, you, me, most Raptor freaks. I think the Raptors are real happy. I think most of the players are really happy about the trade deadline being over because, like, honestly, it's just a distraction. It's a lot of hot air. It's so stupid. And, honestly, like I said, I saw this Harden for Simmons trade in November at the beginning of the year when all this Simmons shit started developing. I was like, you know what? Actually, I thought it was going to be Harden. I thought it was going to be Simmons for Irving because of Irving's problems. I thought it was going to be Irving at that time, but then Harden became more of a problem as the season went down. All right, let me keep going. You guys are way ahead, and I see that a lot of people are here that I haven't gotten to talk to yet that I want to make sure. Oh, yeah, you guys are going off. I love this. All right, I'm going to get going on this, y'all, because I want to catch up and make sure I read every single one of these. Geez, wow, you guys. All right, I really got to catch up. I'm going to go really fast now. Okay, G saying Nets fans are just as ruthless as Sixers fans. This will be interesting. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Simmons is not going to an easier, cushier place. He's in the New York media market now. For God's sake, that man has a fragile ego right now. He has a fragile, mental capacity. It's not going to be any easier for him in Brooklyn compared to Philadelphia. And he's going to go to Philadelphia. He's going to have to play in Philadelphia on road games, and he's going to have to hear the same shit from them anyway. So it's going to be so much fun. Oh, my gosh. It's going to be so much fun to see how it all happens. Darren's saying, me too. Let's find DJ or Moses. Get them on a 10-day. That's what I'm hearing. We'll get one of them on a 10-day. Just, try them out. I think we already seen enough of DJ Wilson to know what's going on with that. But maybe it's something like we sign Moses Brown to a 10-day contract, try him out, and then it's like who are we picking between the two of them by March 1st? Because the money's there, and we're going to get another player. Bobby's already said it. He's just trying to time it right with how players come out of the buyout market. He wants to see who all gets bought out over the next few weeks before he actually executes and signs this person, because he wants to see exactly who's available. That's what he said yesterday. Yeah, Simmons makes Brooklyn a lot better. He plays D. And with Seth, wow. And the other thing is, yeah, you're bringing up Seth Curry, and you're also bringing up Andre Drummond, because they're both going to Brooklyn with Ben Simmons. And on the down low kind of hurts Philly, because they just lost a really good shooter in Seth Curry. And they've been touting this whole, we've got Embiid and Drummond battle, two good centers. And now you just lost that to get a problem guy, possibly. That's what I'm saying. Sixers, don't get it twisted. I don't know if you got an upgrade in this deal. You may just got a cancer on your team now that's going to cause all kinds of problems. And you lost your backup center and one of your best shooting guards. So, and don't tell me that Paul Millsap's going to be helpful. No, he won't, because that man is very old. And he's not going to help you. Oh, man. Yeah, Paul B saying that block by Yuta was awesome. Wasn't it, man? That's just the heart. That's the heart. And that's why I will always have a place on my roster for somebody like Yuta Watanabe, because he has heart. Monty's saying, people, I bet we draft our future prototypical center this year. He's going to look like Evan Mobley. Bet. I don't want to say it. I won't take that bet, because this draft that's coming up supposedly is very weak. This is not a good draft. Last year's draft was really good, and maybe one of the best drafts in recent past, just because it just was what it was. We've got so many good players right now from that draft. But the way that the system works with high school players coming in, college players, and how they come in now, it's really gotten diluted and weird over the years, because they come in so much younger. And now there's the G League Ignite team that causes a whole other kind of different thing for it too. I don't think that we're going to draft a center. I think that we'll continue to draft more 6'9", kind of 7-foot wingspan guys, just because of what I was just saying earlier about the center kind of stuff. And there probably isn't going to be a good center in this draft that fits what our needs are for a center, which is a mobile center that's got all-around talent. And I don't think there is another Evan Mobley in this draft that's coming up, Monty. So I'll take that bet. I'll take your money. Sure. Mm-hmm. Darren's saying, I bet we pick up a center in free agency, not draft. See, that's more likely to me. Tom Duke, even free throws are seemingly sorted out We were 18 for 22 while the Rockets were 18 for 28. Yeah, they missed a few free throws last night, but they're doing way better. I mean, if you look at the perfect free throw shooting against Oklahoma City the other night, and then last night, for the most part, they were pretty good. Like 18 for 22. That's 82% from the free throw line. That's fine. 80 and up is great. 75 and up is great to me in some ways. So let's see. Yeah, you're just saying could be the free agency. Darren's saying, okay, going to get some rest. Go Freaks. Let's go Huskies. All right, Darren, have a good sleep there in Jakarta, man. I know it's 10:30 at night over where you're at right now. Monique saying we need the bench every day, not just one night. Well, it depends. I think it really depends on the opponent. If the opponent's a really high caliber opponent like Chicago or Miami, then we got to play our high caliber guys as many minutes as possible because the bench guys may come in and mess us up completely. But I like that when he brought Yuta and Malachi in last night, he didn't bring in a whole bunch of bench guys together. Like he was out there. They were out there with Pascal. They were out there with Gary. They had good guys that were out there to keep it balanced with them. And it wasn't just like three or four bench guys come in all at once and they really get overwhelmed by not having as much talent. But yeah, I agree with this. I'd like to see the bench inch more and more into the time that the main guys are taking up and like help them get more rest. And, we'll see. They got to produce, though, to get that chance. And I think Malachi's gotten the opportunity for a second chance because of last night. He's going to get another opportunity just because he played really good. Yeah, who knows? Monty's saying we might do both. I don't know. We'll see. Paul B saying OG having another buddy is huge. Yeah, this is a big thing. Like OG played on his AAU team, Thaddeus Young, and they have a connection. So it is going to be huge. And I think that Thaddeus is going to be a great mentor. Like honestly, like we go down a little bit in our overall age because we take 36-year-old Dragic off there and we get 33-year-old Young. So we go younger. Yeah, okay, let's see. Gee, Serge left us to go to LA and end up in Milwaukee. Good move from the Bucks, though. You know what? I have a theory about that whole move of Serge Ibaka going to the Bucks yesterday is this. We just swept the Milwaukee Bucks, the Raptors, this season, and we fucked them up. So they want a little bit of our original recipe. They want to know the Colonel's secret recipe to the chicken that we got going on here. So they're going to get an old cook from our kitchen that can come in and say, yeah, this is what they like to do. And this is what they like to do. Or maybe they saw that they didn't have enough edge against us when they faced us, that Bobby Porter came like a pretender at Pascal. And then we showed them, we fucked them up. And maybe they're like, maybe we need a little more edge or somebody to come in and kind of protect Giannis. I don't think Serge is that good at this point in his career. He's had a real up and down with his tenure at the Clippers. He was on the G League for a bit. He's been hurt a lot. So I don't know how much he really helps them. I think it's really more that he's there to help them with guidance on how to maybe possibly beat the Raptors in the playoffs if we have to face them, because he was one of the guys that helped us beat the Bucks. Like that's the whole story. That like when we were down 0-2 to the Bucks in the Eastern Conference Finals in 2019, Serge had a very impassioned locker room speech where he said in the locker room to everybody, he said, I was on the Thunder and we were playing the Spurs and we were down by 2 and we turned it around and we beat them and we swept them in 4 games after that. And it was like, this is how we did it. And he was like really inspired and talking really. Meanwhile, he's talking about how his team came back and beat the Spurs. And 2 of the Spurs that he beat in that series are sitting in the locker room with him, Kawhi Leonard and Danny Green. And then Serge is like, yeah, and we beat the Spurs and we came back. And apparently people point to that speech that Serge made during the Milwaukee series as being a turning point for when we went from the 2 losses in Milwaukee at the beginning of that series to like sweeping them out 4 games in a row after that. That was a turning point. So they've got the cheerleader that we used in the series against them in 2019 in Eastern Conference Finals on their roster now. So think about it that way. I think it really is. That move specifically was because of us and how we handle the Bucks, that they went and got Ibaka. So I don't think he's going to help them, though, y'all. I think he's going to do very spot things off the bench, but he's getting old and he's hurt. And honestly, you want to come and play against our guys, Serge? You want to mix it up with Precious and Cam and Chris Boucher and your old teammates and stuff like that? You will find out. It's not as easy as you think it is at this point. That we have a different team even than when you were here. Oh, yeah. So it's interesting. Very interesting move that Serge is on the Milwaukee Bucks now. Yeah, I don't know if the Bucks got better. That's a good question, Raymond Jacob. I mean, I don't know all the deals. Like they lost some guys also. They lost DiVincenzo, a couple different guys. So there was a lot of movement, but we don't see them again for the rest of the year. If we see them again, it'll be in the playoffs. So that'll be fun. OG is low-key recruiting. Yeah, well, they all are. I have noticed that the Raptors organization really does look for these friendships and connections among staff and people. Like Earl Watson is on our team because of Pascal Siakam. Thaddeus Young has come here with a connection to OG Anunoby. These are good things because if there's already a previous relationship, we know that things will be good when they come in, that the chemistry should be really good. And, that's a big thing. Earl Watson is a coach on our team because of Rico Hines and Pascal Siakam working out there. That is the whole reason why he's with us. So other than the fact that he wants to learn from one of the best coaches in the league and hopefully become a head coach himself in the league. So, all right, let's see what else you guys are saying. Monty Python saying, gee, Milk is so hurting, dude. They want to be our Milwaukee's so hurting. Yeah, they are. They really do. And what I just said about the Surge thing, that's what I'll say about that. Okay, Monique saying, yeah, OG Anunoby development is chef's kiss. All these guys, the way they develop, so amazing, so awesome that all of our guys don't just sit on their butts and just say, I'm in the NBA, I'm making money, I'm having a good time. No, they're working. And they're absolutely all of them, all trying to get better all the time. And that's great because not every team has this. Some guys are just there and they're happy to be there, so okay, let me keep going. Gary showed us how important it is to treat players like humans. He said he was welcomed with unconditional love. It's more important than people realize. The NBA and sports in general people can be so commoditized, like you're a commodity or like you're just like you're something to be moved around like property. It's fucked up. Like in some ways, it really is. Like these are human beings, and this is like not like modern day slavery or something like that. Whoa, you can trade or you can buy, and people like this. It's fucked up. These are human beings, and they have feelings, and they have wants and needs and things that they like and stuff like that. So yeah, let's see. My Python saying, I'm so surprised you don't have 10,000 subs right now. I just started doing this in September. This is still a very new channel. And I haven't done a whole lot of promoting. It's really the people that find me are just finding me from searching or suggestions on YouTube. And maybe I should do a little bit more putting myself out there in some ways, stuff like that. But, even 10,000 isn't that important. I don't care how many I want. The only reason why I really want to do this is because I see it's a logical progression for this channel. And YouTube's telling me if I get 1,000 subscribers, then I get to a new level of things that I can do with my channel. Whether it's like, getting advertisers or doing super chats in here or stuff like that. Like if Race Mode comes in and wants to buy me a coffee, then he can actually do it and stuff like that. But I'm not going to do it for the money. It's just really basically I'd like to get, it's kind of like the Raptors. They have achievements they want to achieve. I have achievements that I want to achieve on this station. And as I get them, I want to do the same thing. I'm trying to achieve. I'm up in my game this week by getting better internet connection without the lag now. I'm doing the same things like the team is. I got to get my game up and get my goals reached also. That kind of stuff. So, yeah. Let's see. I appreciate that, Tom. That's very nice of you to say. Paul B., I want the Flynn-Harris duo back next season, but I know your feelings on Jalen. Jalen just fucked up, man. Jalen should not have been so fucking high in that interview and like just being so fucked up on drugs. Like that is really what it was. He's got a drug problem and like he obviously can't control it. And that's why he's over in Europe or wherever he is playing instead of playing for us right now because we had to cut him loose because of a drug problem. So it is what it is. Raymond Jacob, kudos to Flynn, but do we need a Fred 2.0? I'd like this, a Barnes 1.0 for sure. I think I agree with this with Raymond. Like Malachi may never be a starter. He may always just be like a situational piece off the bench. Like I'm saying, a little point guard to really chase little point guards on the other team when Fred's tired or something like that. But I think you're right. The future is the point guard for the Raptors is Delano Banton or it's Scotty Barnes. And that's the way we should be looking. Andrew, let's go. Easy win last night. Andrew thinks it was an easy win last night. I have to kind of agree with him. I mean, there are a little bit of things where they were kind of putting some pressure on us, but for the most part, we were dominating them once again, whether it's OG doing whatever he wants, like bulling around, Gary with his crazy shots, Pascal slicing and dicing, just really good domination in a lot of different places by the Raptors over the Rockets last night. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Paul B saying, definitely, Raymond. Sky needs to be the Fred backup. I agree with this, too. I want us to be a positionless team. I want us to transition towards this. And even the moves we made yesterday, getting rid of Dragic, made us have more positionless guys on this team. The three shortest guys on this team are Fred, Malachi, and Gary. Those are the only three guys that are kind of considered short. And even Gary is not short, really. I mean, come on. So it's like, it's awesome. Monique's saying 9 is fine, and I'm feeling fine. Oh, yeah, let's drink the wine on 9 because we'll be feeling fine tomorrow night. Got to beat the Joker. Yes. Paul B, I can't wait to see Siakam play like this versus the Celtics eventually. Oh, yeah, you want to get some get back for the bubble playoffs. I hear you, Paul. You want to see Pascal meet up with the Celtics again in his excellence that he's showing right now and just absolutely destroy them. I am with you on that. I hope that happens very soon. I know we play them at least one more time before the end of the season. Oh, yeah. All right, let's keep going. BTOB, Melody. Good morning. Welcome. Glad you're here. I hope you'll come back again every day. We're here live streaming between 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. at some point. Huskies can come back for our WNBA team in the future. I love that idea, Melody. That's actually a perfect, great idea. Let's call the Toronto Huskies. We'll bring them back as the WNBA team. That's awesome. I've thought that when we get a WNBA team, I'm saying when, it's not if, because we are going to get one. I know we will in the next couple of years because the market is there for it. The game is expanding. It's a really good idea for Toronto. We would really support that team really well. That it would be something like a playoff of the Raptor, like a dinosaur name similar or something like that. But I'm okay with calling them Huskies like that. That's pretty cool. Raymond Jacobs saying, annoying that Tease is back on the Celtics. It is and it isn't. It just makes us hate them more again. It's like bring the goon back. These teams that keep sending guys away and bringing them back. Like the Lakers wanted Schroeder back all of a sudden, but the Celtics spited them and sent them to the Rockets instead. Okay, I just got to catch my breaths real quick because I've been going so fast here so long. Paul B, I don't even remember during the 15-game win streak us looking as locked in as we do right now. This is true. Like we do look way more locked in than we did even during that 15-game win streak. I just got to get some water. It's been a really good, dominant, purposeful, way that we move on the court. Like everything is really with purpose and really sound and not organized. It's very organized. I think that's what you're trying to say, and I agree. Good morning, everyone. Sue, nice win last night. Great to see the bench out there last night. Yeah, really good to see the bench get more minutes this time. Really, really good. And good morning to you, Sue. Always good to see you. Gary is definitely a winner. When he misses or makes mistakes, you can see in his face how angry and hungry he gets. Yeah, you watch him miss a free throw and look at what he does. When he does, he hates it. Monique saying, NBA Game Time crew showing major love. All right, good. We're getting some kudos from mainstream NBA media places. That is always good. I like that. Giovanni, good to see you. I haven't seen you a bit. Always happy to see you, my friend. Malachi Flynn dropping his threes and is the ball handler. Malachi can guard small guards that are quick. Yes, those 2 threes that he had last night were really beautiful. They were big-time shots, and they weren't hard. They were hard shots. Those were degree of difficulty were very high on that one, especially that one late in the shot clock that he shot kind of off balance and to the side and lofted it. Man, that was really good. Monty Python, you like my Nick Nurse impression? Yeah, I get in the mindset of who they are. I thought it was okay. Some people have said, oh, I think he has a real Southern accent. People said, no, that's a Midwest accent. No, there's some Southern drawl to what Nick Nurse does with his voice, for sure. Tom Duke's saying, gonna be sipping wine while we're with 9. Yes! Nuggets and the Joker are gonna have to deal with Electro Raptors momentum and a fresh Fred VanVleet. Let's go. Man, Tom Duke speaking the gospel here. Let's preach to the choir, Tom Duke. Please, preach, preach, preach. I am hearing it. All right, gee. Alexi, laugh out loud. Nurse impression, but there may be some truth to that. It was a back-to-back, so they think they pace their energy on D. Yeah, I think that you're right. I think that in some ways that teams do this. Like they come out and they don't give a full effort right from the start. They say kind of ease into the game and have a level of play at a certain point where you just upgrade, where you just turn it on, and it really makes teams have a hard time. And I think that we do that sometimes in the fourth quarter. Like you see a very different, it depends on what's going on in the game, and maybe they're measuring out how much they need to do before the end of the game to ensure a win. So it may be that, okay, we're down by 12 at halftime. We need to turn on that crazy ass defense as soon as we get into the third. Or okay, we're kind of doing this, like they're kind of still hanging around, but we're up by 10. We need to turn it on at the beginning of the fourth. That kind of stuff. Yeah, I think they do that to a degree. It may be that they just come out flat and Nick has to remind them, y'all, you need to play defense. You can't just be letting them dunk on us and do whatever they're doing down in the lane like they did last night at the beginning of the game. So let's see. Giovanni, Malachi Flynn can ball handle. Nurse trusts Malachi Flynn coming up the floor with the ball more than Delano. I think in some ways you're right. And that may be that just because Malachi's been on the team for 2 years, there's more time accrued, more trust in him. Delano's a little wild, a little fast, a little crazy. He's a little more risky, but maybe the payoff's a little bigger with Delano just because he can do that stuff like snake his way to the basket, make a layup, bringing it coast to coast. So they just do different things. I think it really is a situational thing or like a matchup thing that's going to dictate who's going to be coming in between those guys. So I like having different looks at the point guard. You know, we had different looks back in the day when we had DeLon and Fred VanVleet as our 2 different point guards coming off the bench. We could put a taller point guard or the smaller guy like with Fred. That was something that we did back in the day a couple years ago. So Raymond Jacobs saying, hey, Porter Jr. shot in his own basket, should have counted right at the end of the game. Yeah, that was ridiculous. And it would have gotten us to 141. We would have had 141 points, and we would have gotten our last point scored by Kevin Porter Jr. because he did a dumb bounce down, and it went into the hoop before the time actually elapsed. Yeah, it should have counted. You're right. But it was frivolous, silly shit. And the refs were like, fuck this. We don't give a shit. You guys won by a lot. We don't want to do this to this guy. So they just let it go. But you're right. Technically, in the real NBA rule book, that should have counted. And it should have been scored for him, for us. That Kevin Porter Jr. is now on our scoring list. That he should be at the very bottom of our stats. Kevin Porter Jr. Had 2 points for the Raptors. Because it's true. It hadn't sounded yet. You're exactly right, Raymond Jacob. It should have counted, but they were like, this is silly. Let's just go home. So it was that kind of thing. The best part of Pascal is his confidence and love of the game again. He really, honestly, man, he's such a pro. He's carrying himself with such a level of excellence in general, and I'm just so happy for him. He deserves it. He's worked so hard. He's gone through so much bullshit, different kinds of bullshit because of us, different kinds of bullshit because of his injury, and just different things. And he's had to doubt himself, but really, I'm so proud of him that he's never given up or not believed in himself. And he's doing it all for his dad and us. He's doing it for us, y'all. You'll see it on his hats. You'll see it on his shirts. Doing it for you. You know, that's part of his whole thing. All right, let's keep going. Giovanni, I think Raptors match up well in East against teams except Cleveland and 76ers because they don't have a true big. Yeah, the Cleveland matchup is the one that scares me the most just because they have double bigs and we don't have anybody. But once again, you know, I want to see us play them again still. And with our new energy and our new push that we've been on recently, because we haven't seen them in this kind of state. We've seen them in the worst state with having 4 of our regular bench guys in 4 G leaguers, and they messed us up in that game. And then we've seen them in a game where we beat them the whole entire fucking game, and then they beat us in the last 5 seconds of the game by 1 point. So I want to really get back at the Cleveland Cavaliers right now for sure. Now, Philly, I'm not so scared as with, Embiid may be playing out of his mind right now and putting out incredible output and crazy numbers, but we have a kryptonite for Embiid. He doesn't have big games against us when he plays us. We find a way to limit him and really frustrate him just because of the way we play with our makeup. And so in a way, maybe it's good that we don't have a guy that we just straight up play big against big, that we have like a guy who Kem guards him, and then we have guys doubling and doing all kinds of stuff. So Cleveland scares me the most between those two, just because of having Mobley and Allen. They're very, very difficult to deal with. Let's see, Siakam over everything. I love that, Monique. I will tattoo that on my back. Giovanni, Wizards need a true point guard for Beal next year. Beal has just had season-ending surgery on his wrist. They get Porzingis come in, so now, but Beal's not going to get to play with any of them. I think that, yeah, this is the thing. We're seeing these guys who have been on teams forever, like Bradley Beal and Dame Lillard, and everything's changing around them once again. How tired are they of rebuilds? How tired are they of getting new cast members around them and trying to make it work? They're just tired of it. And I can't understand Lillard being really frustrated, but they're going to try and rebuild around him really quick and keep him happy and keep him there. But if I was him, I'd want to fucking leave Portland right now. Oh, yeah. I would give up on my loyalty for that team right now just because it's inept and they're having all kinds of problems. And Bradley may be thinking the same thing with Washington, that you guys are fucked. I can't do anything with y'all anymore. Please get me out of here. Wouldn't it be crazy if they got traded for each other straight up? Like Bradley went to Portland and Dame Lillard ended up on Washington. That would be real interesting. I don't really want Lillard in the Eastern Conference. I'm going to say that right now. I'd much rather have Beal in the Eastern Conference than Lillard, because Lillard is a big-time baller. Oh, yeah, he is. Let's keep going. You're agreeing with Giovanni. Giovanni's saying also, Alexi, I think people might be thinking Dragic is going to be bought out, but I don't know if he's going to want to take a discount on his last big contract. He may not give Spurs a discount. Yeah, I know we've talked about this earlier in the season, actually, when we were talking about us buying him out. I remember you and I specifically talking about this. Yeah, I thought that too, but for some reason, I think that at this point, because of the Spurs situation, that it's more easy for them to do it. Like, we didn't want to do it for particular reasons, but I think the Spurs will do it. And the only way that Dragic is going to get the team that he wants to be on is for this to happen. And that's what I'm hearing, that he's going to get bought out, and that he wants to be bought out at this point just so he can join a team like the Mavs. But who knows? I may be completely wrong. You may be right that he's like, this is my last big contract. I want all the money. Fuck this. You can't buy me out. But, who knows? We'll see. At this point, I don't really give a shit. You can fucking do whatever. I mean, it's like we don't have Tragic on our roster. We don't have to see that stupid injury report we're saying where he's not with the team because of personal reasons anymore, and then see him sitting in the crowd at a Miami Heat game. That's what I love about it. It's a addition by subtraction in a major way. Oh, yeah. Also, Giovanni's saying, Alexi, is why KP would never have played for Raptors with Kristaps Porzingis' sexual assault allegations in New York, and why he's moved out of New York. Wow, I didn't realize that he had that kind of baggage on his shoulders himself. Yeah, okay. Somebody was joking that deal is the first time two Latvians got traded for each other, because Bertans got traded to Dallas with Dinwiddie. So it's like Porzingis and Bertans, they're both Latvians, switched teams. And I didn't know that about KP. So yeah, he probably wouldn't fit up here. People would keep talking about that kind of stuff. The family, good morning. Always good to see you, man. It's really easy drafting all-stars. I can draft all-stars. I love that. He's bringing up the whole thing I was talking about. Yeah, you can get into the lottery and pick like the top picks. Those are easy. It's really mining gold and finding really good quality players that become something eventually in the league later in the draft. That is the real art and skill in it all. Oh, yeah. Monty saying, Gio, come. Okay, you guys are speaking in Italian. I'll let you guys have that. I love the international flavor. Marlon, good morning. Thank heavens the Rockets missed those free throws. A lot of BS foul calls. Number 25, Matthews, trying to do a crossover on OG, tripped and fell, and the ref called the foul on OG, who didn't touch him. Unbelievable. The refs weren't too bad last night, but yeah, there was a little bit of funny stuff. But for the most part, I mean, we know that this is going to happen and stuff like that to a degree. But I don't mind those refs. What's his name? Kennedy. He's a good head ref. He has a nice demeanor when he's on the challenge call. He's like, the Toronto Raptors have challenge the call on the play. He's like very nice with his voice. If you hear Bill Kennedy when he's doing the referee mic, he's like he's got a pleasant demeanor. Some of the other refs are kind of ornery or kind of like, who the fuck is this guy? He's kind of fucked up, but you can tell he's a nice dude. Like he's a good dude. Paul B saying, fuck ESPN for hyping Nets and Lakers all year long. This is our time. They did it last year too. They hyped them so much because it's like, that's the money. That's the money. Hollywood Hogan versus Lex Luger. And neither one of them can fight. Neither one of them are good wrestlers. Yeah, you want to see Hogan versus Luger? Hogan versus Luger. You know, it's like that kind of thing, man. They're the same thing. They have no skill. They have no talent in the ring, but they're going to hype the hell out of them at the top because we know that Hogan was not a good in-ring performer, and neither was Lex Luger, as much as I love both of them. But anyway, let's see. Lakers will go after Goran. That'd be interesting. Wouldn't that be funny if Goran was on the Lakers and we get to play the Lakers twice still this season? And it would be fun to fuck up Goran and LeBron in the same games. I love that. Let's make that move happen, G. Go to the Lakers, Goran. I want to see you fuck them up. Yeah. All right. Monique saying, Nick Nurse, coach of the month, coach of the year, agenda's looking good. Yep, Nick Nurse is deserving in that. Monty Python saying, people that sanguine on Houston would look so good in Toronto. He's shorter than I thought he was. I thought he was tall. I'm getting him confused with another big guy that just came into the league. That Sanguine guy didn't really impress me that much. There were a couple of things he did last night where I was like, man, that dude is not that good in some ways. I mean, he's got a good three-point shot, and he's got a couple of things, but we were really frustrating him. And he doesn't look like he's in that good a shape. Like he needs to work out or something like that. Anyway, that's just my eye test on him from last night. The Houston commentators said Raptors are taller and bigger in almost every position. Yeah. Nick Nurse has called it like wanting to be able to look the other team in the eye. And we looked the other team in the eye and kind of looked down at them at this point because they did look shorter than us overall out there. And that's the thing that's going to keep happening. Overall, on the eye test, you see our players just look taller than the other team all the time usually. It's really good. Paul B. Kem looked like a beast out there, setting screens, being in the right spot for dunks. Loved it. Unmasked Kem will be just fine. Yeah, the best thing that Kem does out there is he sets these screens. Part of the reason why Gary Trent can get the 42 points is he's getting beautiful screens from Kem. He may be one of the best screen setters in the entire NBA. And I love that he's on our team. Like that may be the number one thing we want from him right now. It's just being able to free up guys like Fred and Gary and get absolutely wide open shots because he's so good at giving them room. And that's so huge, so unappreciated. G's saying it too. Yeah. Monique saying Surge in Milwaukee. Whoa. Yeah, I know this is crazy. It's a little weird. I think it's just they want some intel about us from a former player. Monty saying, laugh out loud. We are the only big market franchise that pretends to be small in the world. We're not small. That's the thing. Everybody wants to say we're small. They look small, but they're crazy. We're not small. We're a tall team. We're a big team overall, and we beat them in length at the end of the lower positions. We may not be as tall as your center, but at the other positions, we may be taller than you at three of the other positions on the court. So I love that. I love that so much. All right, man, I really got to catch up. Y'all are really going off today. I like this. It's an 8-game win streak, of course. Okay, Scott Burville, good morning. Good to see you. We're here every morning, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. at some point, doing a live stream reacting to daily Raptors stuff. Positive Raptors space for positive fans. We don't tear down the players. We don't talk about how shitty we are or how bad we're going to be. We're always looking for the wins and the success that's possible for the Raptors. Let's see. Scott's saying Moses Brown is on the buyout list. Check out his highlights. We got to do a live together sometime. Hey, cool. Yeah, I like that, man. We're doing a live together right now, man. I'm live right now. It's 10:52 a.m. in Toronto, and I'm here. Yeah, I like this Moses Brown acquisition, possibly. The buyout spot we have is going to be really interesting to see what Bobby does with it. But he has time. He's not in a rush. He says he's going to see who actually gets added to the buyout list before he makes a decision. But I'll bet Moses Brown is one of the names that he's looking at. But a lot of people are saying just go get DJ Wilson and just put him in there because we already know. Giovanni's saying, I don't think Moses Brown will be available for Raptors. A lot of teams behind us that likely pick him up. Okay, yeah, because there is something about like the waiver wire and different things. Although it could be that it's really who the player wants to choose. to pick to go to. And maybe Moses wants to be a Raptor. I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. Family's also saying a lot of teams don't want Moses Brown. There's a reason he's on the buyout market. Yeah, there is a reason. And it could be like, this is the thing. They may not want to like pull the trigger right now and just get him right now because, like I said, Bobby sounds like he's going to wait. That's what he said yesterday. He says it sounds like he's going to wait at least 2 weeks, maybe through the All-Star break, and then pull the trigger near the end of February. I'll bet you that's when he'll do it. It'll be somewhere closer to March 1st than now. All right, let's see. Yeah, there is a reason that Moses is not on the Mavs still. I agree with this. There's always a reason guys get bought out and they're not on the team anymore, obviously, because the team didn't value them to keep. So let's see. Scott's saying Masai has a press conference today at 2:00. Okay, thanks for the news. I will definitely be looking out for that at 2:00. That'll be good. I'm excited to hear what Masai has to say. G saying, Giovanni, do teams with worse records get first dibs? I heard this, but I never knew it was a thing. No, not on this. I think it has to do with waiver wire stuff. Like if somebody gets put on waivers, then if you're higher on the waiver wire priority, then you get the first crack at them. But with the buyout market, it's really that these guys become free agents again, and they're out there and they can talk to whoever they want. It's really lining up the money and the intent. Like the player wants to play for them, the team wants them, and the money matches, then that's how it works. So it could be that Moses Brown's talking to like 4 or 5 teams, and he's going to make a decision about which one he wants to sign. It's not necessarily that anybody gets priority. So it's more of that, I believe. I may be wrong too, though, but I think that's right. I think that's right from what I remember. Okay, yeah, Masai's going to introduce Mr. Young today. I think that probably sounds right. That they're going to have Thaddeus come in and they're going to introduce him to Raptor World. Welcome, Mr. Thaddeus Young. Oh, yeah. G said, Bobby said something to the effect of paraphrasing, they can now outbid teams in the buyout market. Yeah, that money lineup between Goran's $19 million, the $14 million for Thaddeus, and then that $5 million in there. It sounds like they have $5 million around, $5 million to spend on another player, and that could actually be a pretty good player for like the rest of the season. So, let's just see what Bobby does. He's going to work his magic. I know he's going to do good. Monique just said the most basic thing. Let's go Raptors. And I love it. It was every day, every minute, all the time. Yeah, this Scott is really pushing Moses Brown. He wants us to watch these highlights. He's yelling it at us now. Yeah, we've seen Moses Brown. We love him. We've been talking about him all year. People started talking about him in October, right at the beginning of the season, and his name has popped up in this live stream from time to time a lot. So yeah, we have Moses Brown fans here. Don't worry, Scott. If it happens, it happens. We'll be happy for it. Delano is built for this. That's what Monique is saying. Yep. Monty Python's saying Moses Brown is still very, very raw. It could be a good project to have. Years away, he's like a Bruno Caboclo. Scott's saying Moses Brown is 7'2", 21 years old. Yeah, that's a pretty big deal. That's pretty good. Monty's saying, yeah, but Moses won't make exactly an impact. He may not even start. Well, that could be fine too. He could be getting asset building for in the future. We'll see. And Monty's also saying now Bamba, different story. He would definitely start. Mo Bamba got moved from Orlando. I forget where he went. I think he went to where did he go? I'm not sure. If you guys remember, somebody type in where Mo Bamba went. I wanted to say that maybe he went to the Knicks. I'm not exactly sure where Bamba ended up, but he did get traded yesterday. Let's see. Scott's saying the trade between Brooklyn and Sixers made it easier for the Raptors to beat both. I completely agree with this, Scott. They are messing with their chemistry. James Harden may not really work with Joel Embiid. They just lost a really important role players on their team, Seth Curry and Andre Drummond. And then the other way, it's like – the Nets are already a mess just in themselves, even with or without Harden. They're a mess just with Irving in general. So, and Kevin needs to get back as soon as possible because they're free falling. They've lost 10 games in a row. They are falling. And can he make up any of that ground when he comes back? We'll see how much they can make up. But I don't know. They may be dealing with the play-in just because they're falling so bad right now. All right, the family's saying DJ will not even be on the table. Players are going to get off bad teams, get bought out, and there'll be way more talented players than DJ. Sorry, people. You know what? He may be right. Because that's the thing. It's like it's about like some of the players will get bought out and they're really established NBA players already. They're not on this fringe between the G League and the main NBA. That these are like established pros that'll get bought out. And that's what Bobby's looking at with the pool. And that's why it's really unknown because we don't know totally everybody who's going to get bought out in the near future. And I think family might be right that like even though we like DJ Wilson and he was like really shiny new player on our team at that point in time, showed really good things, that he may not be the final choice, that it may be something's even better out there. That it, like family's saying, I like that. Sue's saying, totally agree. Sixers could be in for trouble. If they don't win, Embiid and Harden may turn on each other. I think Sixers lost that trade. Yeah, this is the thing. They're desperate. It's like these superstars force the hand. And like Harden wanted out. He was giving them pressure internally, but he never actually publicly came out and said he wanted a trade like he did in Houston and all that mess that happened there. But listen, who the fuck wants James Harden on their team at this point when he just keeps showing like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. And he's strong arming. And we know that he does devious shit like balloons his weight or dogs it on purpose just to try and get out of places. No, nobody wants a player like that. That's manipulative and it's kind of fucked up because it doesn't seem like he can work with people, you know, in some ways. So he's gonna fuck up Philadelphia. Philadelphia's had a good thing going even without Simmons. But now you throw him in there, and I think this is gonna really mess them up. I think we're right. And I want to see how this goes because I think that people are crazy if they think it's just gonna be all peachy keen. Because there's personalities involved in this. All right, let's see. Scotty Barnes second on rookie rank now, but still, Monique's saying that he's second. I'm going to guess he's behind Mobley. We'll see. Scotty's just got to put in more work and just be that badass and make it head above the rest that he's the best rookie in the league this year. So he wins that award. He deserves it. He's going to deserve it by the end of the year. We'll see it. G saying good point about Serge. Yeah. The stuff I'm telling you, Milwaukee wants him because they're scared of us. Oh, yeah. Giovanni, Moses Brown is really raw. He is still 3 years from being a backup center in reality. I think Freddie Gillespie is more developed than Moses Brown. That's probably true. Freddie has come a long way, even just this year since we cut him. Freddie Gillespie didn't look good this year because he bulked up, so he was a little slower, and his shot was messed up from his muscles. It takes time to adjust. It's why Giannis' shot was messed up for 3 years when he was drafted because he bulked up so much fast. There's some truth to this. If you get a lot of muscle quick, it changes your mechanics of your shot. And sometimes these big guys, they don't have a good shot because they have no touch. They have no way of being light with their touch. Like that's why Bismack's never been a good shooter because he has no light touch. I agree with this stuff with about Moses Brown, how far away he is, and bringing up Freddie Gillespie's interesting. Like he could have actually really helped us at different times this season in different ways. But I'm kind of glad he's gone because we could upgrade for sure. Paul B. Rodney Hood didn't reveal the secret, so I hope Serge doesn't either. That's right. Yeah, Rodney got traded for him. I think Rodney went to the Clippers himself, or Sacramento. He either went to Sacramento or Clippers. That trade was like a 3-team trade or something. I don't know. I didn't want to keep track of every single thing. There was so much yesterday. Monique, it was very rare to see Pascal with 5 fouls. Just something to point here. Yeah, and then the whole way that he went out, like the foul out, was interesting. Like they challenged it and they wanted to make sure that it was really and that he was going to be out. And they were like, yeah, he's out. And it was a lot of time left on the clock. And in some ways that could have been scary. But the game was not that close, and we had enough weapons and firepower out there still without Pascal. And in a way, it was a positive thing because it cut Pascal's minutes down for the game at least. Like he only played 32 minutes last night. He could have easily played another 3 or 4 minutes and got up to 36 or something like that. So in a way, it was a hidden plus, I guess, that he fouled out. But yeah, it's not common that he fouls out like that. But it just shows that things are happening. So like with him, he physically down there. Giovanni, yeah, NBA players are like horses for sale. They get paid, they don't perform, they get sold like horses. Yeah, see, we got to humanize these guys. If other teams aren't doing that and they're wheeling and dealing and looking at players as just commodities, as property, we don't do that. And I like that. And maybe that's part of what makes it more attractive to players in this league to want to play for the Raptors, is that they know that they're not going to deal with some asshole GM that just looks at it from a business side. that they've got a Masai Ujiri that's the figurehead at top that's going to shoot it to them straight, and somebody that they can feel like they can trust to a certain degree. So I think that's a part of it. It really makes us a better team and more attractive to players in the league for free agency and different things like that. So Monty is saying, people, I would love in a WNBA team, down like a clown. Hell, I'd bet on 2 cockroaches running up a wall. When the pandemic first started, Monty, I was so bored and stuck in the house with my roommates that we started gambling on marble racing. I don't know if y'all know Jelle. He's from the Netherlands. He's an autistic guy who does marble racing. He has these amazing courses, and it's really fun, y'all. Like, if you have some friends, get them together and just put like loony bets on different marbles in there, and it's like betting on the horses, but it's marble racing. Totally check this out. It was like the best form of entertainment for us at the beginning of the pandemic when we're all stuck at home all of a sudden. We couldn't go anywhere. We started betting on marbles. So totally recommend Jelle and Fubuka. Fubuka's marble races are amazing also. 2 really good YouTube channels that are fun to like gamble and play like little gambling. They do like crazy big bets and just like root the marbles on because it's really fun, honestly. So if you're betting on cockroaches, go bet on marbles. Although Raps are young and close to age to Houston, OKC, and Hornets, those teams just look so much younger on the court in comparison. It's a maturity factor. Like, the Raptors are young, but they're mature. Like, that is a really weird strength because we have all the benefits of being young, but also we don't have the detriment of not being mature or experienced. And I love that. I love that hybrid about us. We really are shaking the core of the NBA to its core because of like these things we're doing with our roster and the way that we're playing in our system and these ideas that we're playing with. And the fact that we're so young and so mature already really means we have a really great thing to grow into as we get even just a little bit older and more experience. And these guys being so young and on a winning team, they're going to get the winning stuff right away, the playoff experience right away. Are the Orlando guys going to be in the playoffs at the end of the year and get playoff experience? No. Is Cade Cunningham going to get playoff experience this year? No, he's not. So it's like Scotty Barnes is already ahead of his rookie counterparts other than Evan Mobley because he's going to be getting playoff experience this year. I love that. It is so true what you said, G. Those other teams look like younger and more inexperienced than us, and we are pretty much around the same ages now. So Monique saying, did you see Jalen Harris back? Do we have his rights? No, they just bring him up. I think Paul likes bringing him up because he likes him. He wanted him to be something. No, there's nothing going on with Jalen Harris. He just brings up his name from time to time. But no, I don't think Jalen Harris is coming back. I don't think so. Andrew, it's funny how all these problematic players attract one another, like Harden, Simmons, Kyrie, etc. They all deserve each other. I agree with that, Andrew. They should just make an NBA Ignite team. They should make an NBA Destroy team. Like, this is the NBA Destroy team. James Harden, Kyrie Irving, Ben Simmons. You get all these problem guys and put them on one team and call it the NBA Destroy team. And it's a vet team of guys that are malcontents that don't fit in with any teams because they're assholes. And they can just be this asshole team. And we can just see the fun, like, dysfunction of them and all the fucking stupid shit that happens with them. Maybe they can even have a reality show outside of it where they all have to live in the same house and like watch them interact with each other as assholes to each other. That's a great idea. I love this idea. The Destroy team. They have NBA Ignite team, and now they have the NBA Destroy team. Oh my gosh, I love it. Atlantic Division foes having folly and problems. Drink the tears. Get the teacup. Sit by the window. Tastes so good. The tears of Atlantic Division foes. Yes. All right, let's keep going. I'm a fun guy. I don't really think that Moses Brown is good. Okay, see, there's an opinion. We don't know. We have to see. I haven't seen enough of them and stuff like that. I've just heard y'all's hype. Monique saying, anyone know what number Thad is? What number he's going to play? Yeah, I don't know what number he was playing. Let me look at our roster. He's already on the roster on ESPN. I could go ahead and see if he's already got one on there for you, Monique. Let me just see. It looks like he's going to wear 30 is the number he's got on there. So he's going to be wearing number 30 for the Raptors. That's what I think I just saw there. Let's see. I'm a fun guy. He's slow, sloppy, low IQ. This is talking about Moses Brown. Monty's saying Moses Brown, low defensive IQ and really slow. Okay, well, if he's slow and he doesn't play good defense, then maybe he isn't a fit. We'll see. People just like that he's 7'2" and he's so young. Andrew saying, how soon until things go south in Philly and Harden wants out? History is doomed to repeat. Oh, I know. And Summer saying is a hilarious first line, debut line by Summer Lowe here. Is that an hour from now? Oh, you're awesome, Summer. That is the best line. I love that. In an hour from now, that's when it's going to happen, Andrew. Summer has your answer. Did you guys see also on Twitter? Apparently, there's a stripper who went on Twitter and said James Harden said he's a Sixer. And he said it like she posted it like 24 hours before the deal was announced. And he's like, James Harden just told me while he was giving him a lap dance that he's a Sixer. And then she replied after the deal happened, see, I told y'all. That the stripper posted on Twitter that he just told her that she's going to be on the Sixers. Oh, but he's eating some wings. Oh my gosh! All right, sorry. I just had sometimes I laugh. Just some of the stuff, the thoughts. The NBA is such a crazy world. Monty saying, "Let's go, Thad. Welcome home, buddy." Yeah, I want to see Thad here. Andrew saying, "I might need to buy a Thaddeus jersey if he scores more than 1 point off the bench." You know, somebody was a cool stat from last night. Gary Trent Jr. had 42 points in the game last night. He had more points than Goran Dragic scored as a Raptor for the whole season. Goran scored 40 points, and Gary had 42 in the game last night, just to close that chapter out. Oh, man. Summer, I still love that comment you just made. That's like perfect timing. So good. Like an hour from now, he shows up for the press conference, and like right after, it's like right all already. He's like telling, "Where are my green M&Ms in the green room?" He's like doing shit like that to Philadelphia right away. Oh my gosh, yes, I'm so here for it. Okay, let's keep going. Scott saying Raptors development is second to none. Moses is 7'2". He's 21. He wouldn't have to do much to be great here. That is guaranteed 8 of the bench in his first game. 8 off the bench in the first game. Yeah, I mean, our development system is, unquestioned. We'll just see if he's got the right attitude, if he's got the right aptitude, and we'll see if he can do it. If we get him, that's maybe part of what they're looking at is they got to really understand what they're working with. Is this piece of clay something we can mold into a kind of the developing kind of player, successful winning player that we like to have on the Raptors? And it may be that there's part of the equation that's missing, like some of the things that these guys are saying, like a low defensive IQ or being a little slow. Once again, I'm telling you, we don't want a big guy if he's going to slow us down in our pace. So we got to get somebody who can keep up with the regular Raptors and what they're doing on the court presently right now. Let's see. That is guaranteed. Yeah, you said that. The eight off the bench. Already said that. 20. You want to say 20 off the bench? That'd be fun. Monty Python saying, "Bro, if you're betting on cockroaches, go bet on marbles." And he's dead from it. Yeah, go bet on marbles, man. Monty is so much fun. Seriously. All right, we're almost at 2 hours. I'm almost to the end. Listen, man, this is how I am. I talk about crazy, silly shit. The marbles are really fun, though. Seriously, Monty. Get your brother and get some other people and just bet on some marbles this afternoon if you have some free time. You're going to enjoy it. Like put toonie races. You pick like 3 or 4 marbles in each race, and then you try and get a winner out of there. Oh, yeah, it's a lot of fun. You get the pot. Oh, yeah. Paul B's just mentioning Jalen Harris out of the blue again. You want to bet on run your mouth? I'll take 20 on Thad scoring at least 8 off the bench. Yeah, okay. I can see that. You know what? It'll be fun to see what Thaddeus does. It may be that he's a little hungry because San Antonio really didn't utilize him at all this season yet, and he has some things to prove. So hopefully he'll come in and he'll be really happy to get some minutes and have the possibility to produce some stuff for us. So let's see. Monty Python saying, "See what we got for ourselves because we can't trust other franchises' assessment of talent." Yeah, we can't sometimes. They thought Gary Trent was what he was in Portland. They think Precious was what he was in Miami. It's that kind of stuff. We can't definitely go by what other teams think. We really got to think from our own perspective and our eye test and our knowledge and ability ourselves. Scott saying Moses definitely has the pace. He gets up and down great. Okay, so he's vouching for his pace. He's saying he's not slow. We'll have to see how this goes. Seymour Pape Good morning. Glad you're here. Good to see you. 42 points on a second night of a back-to-back. He lit him up. Oh, yeah, Gary. Gary is so nasty, man. And that's what happens. He said after the game, he's like, with Fred being out of the game, he knew that there were going to be 10 to 15 more extra shots out there, and he wanted to go collect them. And he did, man. He did. He had how many shots last night? He shot way more than he usually does in games last night. He had, oh, my gosh, I just lost the game box score. Let me find it. He had he shot 15 for 26. And normally he shoots like maybe 17 or 18 shots. So he did pick up a lot of the shots that Fred would have took while he was out there. And it was really nice to see him that kind of effort after a back-to-back. That's the other thing is, listen, back-to-backs were Achilles' heel for us last year. We had a horrible back-to-back record. It was like 3-13. And this year we're 8-3 in back-to-backs. In the second night of a back-to-back, we are winning 8-3, baby. That is so big and so good. Okay, let's see. Where are we on here? Paul B saying we better bring some dipping sauce for Thad for those nuggets he's going to eat. Man, Paul, are you trying to influence my real mascot matchup for tomorrow? Because maybe we're going to have some popcorn chicken we had last week with the Atlanta Hawks twice. Maybe we're going to have some McNuggets tomorrow. Oh, yeah. We'll have to see how that real mascot matchup goes tomorrow. I'll bring it out. Scott, in Messiah we trust. Yes, number one tenet of the cult of the Raptor Freaks. Yes. Monty saying Gary Trent Jr. was looking real. Devon Booker last night. Devin Booker. Yes. Yeah. That's what we're comparing him to now. He's that kind of scorer. He's at that level. And we have that with Fred at his level and Pascal at his level, OG at his level, and Scotty doing what he's doing at rookie. The collective, the cumulative of talent and just excellence is that's why I say we can do anything we want. We want to win a championship this year. We can do it. It's up to the guys. They want to do it. They're going to go do it. All right, let's see. Love it, Paul B, with all the steals. Yeah. Paul B is a GOAT in some ways, y'all. Paul B is a GOAT. I love Paul B. He's one of my originals. He honestly was one of the very first people that subscribed and started following me right at the beginning in September. Paul and Sue. Those are my two originals. All right, Sugar Ray, good morning. Glad you made it right before I'm about to sign off. Did you hear Bobby saying he was on the phone till 2:45 yesterday? And then I heard they almost traded Birch and Boucher. Yikes. Dodge the bullet. Yeah, we don't want to give away those intangibles for nothing. There's so much Chris is giving to us that we may lose if we bring somebody else in. We just want to keep them. And I'm so glad with how the trade deadline shook out. I'm very, very pleased and happy with the work that Bobby Webster did. He did a great job as a GM. Understated, not the flashy big thing that everybody may have been hoping for, but exactly what we needed, honestly, if you think about it. I really think so. I don't know who they were talking about, who they're going to trade for. Let's see. Oh, Paul's like, stop. Oh, stop. I love that. Scott saying, we got in the Sun's head. Never mind the mascot. Wait till the nation is there. Yeah, we're going to go to Phoenix on this road trip. This last West Coast road trip is going to be really interesting because we're going to play San Antonio. We're going to play Denver and Denver. We're going to play Phoenix and Phoenix. And then we're going to go to L.A. and going to play the Clippers and the Lakers. And then they did a really shady thing for LeBron to help him. Is we got to fly back from LA with the Lakers, so we both have to deal with the time change together. So we don't get any advantage of sitting at home and having the Lakers come and have to go across the time changes. We have to both go through it together. And that is a really shady way that they make things more equal and helpful to LeBron. But man, we're going to beat his ass anyway. We know we're going to beat the Lakers in both games when we play them later this season. We know we're going to beat them both times. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Monique saying, does David Johnson play behind Fred next season? I doubt Flynn here long term. Yeah, that's interesting. Well, let's just see how it all shakes out. Let's not get ahead. I'd like to see Johnson continue to develop and get better, and maybe get more time on the main roster in the main NBA and see what he can do at that level. He's had a mixed bag. He had COVID. He's been injured. He's had different problems. He has games that he doesn't show up in and don't do well, but then he has other games where he shoots really well and he has big games too. So it is what it is. We'll see. Just see how it develops is really development and how they're doing. And you know, things with Flynn may be in trouble just because of the positionless stuff. So we'll see. Paul B saying, I want to go back and look at my preseason comments. My 82-0 prediction might be a bit off, but when these pieces play their part, they can't be stopped. Yeah, nobody's figured us out really yet. Like, honestly, on the whole, like the new Raptors and the way we're playing, nobody's really consistently figured out how to stop us or how to get past our defense even. And like some of the games that teams have beaten us, they've caught us as not fully full health, guys missing, or not really rolling like we are now. So it's going to be interesting to see us come back around and play Boston again, play Philly again, play New York again, play these 2 games against Brooklyn after the All-Star game. Very, very going to be very intriguing. Also be interesting to see how the landscape of the NBA has changed because of the trade deadline yesterday and all the moving around that happened. So there's going to be different faces on teams. Like even on Monday when we played New Orleans, they have CJ McCollum now all of a sudden on their team. So we're going to be seeing a different kind of squad with New Orleans, even just since when we saw JV and them come up to Toronto in January. So it's very interesting. It's kind of a reshuffle. We'll have to see how teams are, if they got better or they're worse or they're just the same. So, all right, let's keep going. G saying, Scott, everyone in the stadium should wear a Raptor head against the Suns. Yeah, for sure. Like, well, we're not going to see them again here. Unfortunately, that's just how it is. But next season, when the Suns come to Toronto, we really need to troll Devin Booker hard with Raptor stuff. Oh, yeah, we do. Troll him every which way. Everybody's sitting behind the basket where the Suns are shooting. We need to all do the Raptors motion that he was doing, like when he got mad at him for what he did. Oh, yeah, it'll be fun. Monty Python saying, wow, other teams were trying to give us the old reverse Masai. Huh? Masai cannot be reversed or undone. Joke's on them. Hilarious. Yeah, and Booker was shook. I agree with that, Scott. Championships. Yeah. All right, guys. It's 2 hours. I really appreciate y'all being here with us this morning. 8 in a row. Beating Houston was a big deal because honestly, when you play a team that's got energy, a little bit of dangerous ballers on the team, they can come up and surprise you. And we took care of business very professionally. Gary Trent Jr. is an absolute steal in that deal that we got last year, and it's just showing more and more. I'm waiting for a 50 piece from him at some point real soon. Pascal, once again, masterful. Just all-around great play by the Raptors in general as a team. And, yeah. All right, let's go. Seymour Pape is saying, I hope we can take it to 9 over the Nuggets. I really do, too. And Earl Watson effect is happening on Gary Trent Jr. Monty, I agree with that also. All right, like, comment, subscribe, share. I'm really pushing for subscriptions, y'all. So please, if you enjoyed my stream today or anything like that, really, really, please click on the subscribe button. And I'll be here every day, y'all. I'm committed to doing this and showing up every single day so that we can positive talk about the Raptors, no matter what's happening with them, whether they're going to win 8 games in a row or they're going to lose 8 games in a row. Knock on wood. Hopefully that never happens again. And we will be here to talk about it no matter what. All right, tomorrow, preview for that Denver Nuggets here in Toronto. It's going to be a real interesting, tough game. The last really tough game before the All-Star break, and we need to get this one and protect our streak. All right, have a great Friday. Start your weekend right, and just love your loved ones, and just be happy, y'all. Be grateful. Enjoy the little things in life, and that will always help you to be happier in your life in general. All right, thanks again. Let's go! Woo!